Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Vidane TV. Some Friday night action here for the third annual TCM 300. Getting ready to line these drivers up. Oh, they're already lined up for heat race number one. Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the booth with Rowdy, Wesley Hogue, and Matt Marr joining us for the very first time here in the Vidane TV broadcast booth. But first off, Wes, we had a great Daytona, or a Vidane.net 500 at Daytona Tuesday night with the Liberty Racing League. Switching gears a little bit here tonight. Great to see you. Great to see you back in the booth.
It's good to be back here, Paul. Be back in the booth. Not as stressful riding around Daytona International Speedway several laps down and be able to just kick back, call some racing with you. And it's always good to be here with Tim and everything that Tim has to do here with iRACING as well. Thanks for having me. I'm ready to have some fun.
100%. Matt, you and I talked a little bit here. You're more familiar with a lot of these names than Wes and myself. We're down a little bit farther south. Wes is down in Florida. I'm here in Connecticut. But it's great to have you on board and looking forward to calling some action here with you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, like some of these guys' names, like Ryan Messer, Kate and Tubbs, Chase MacKay, some of these guys I've watched the past couple of years and on the East Coast Canada side, Nova Scotia, run real well in like Legends, Bandoleros, and Pro Stocks. And I'm just excited to be a part of the show. Usually I'm just behind the camera, but it's the first time being a part of the commentary team. Hopefully for a good night.
Looking forward to a lot of action here tonight, and it's kicked off with a green flag, and Salas kicking things off with a demanding lead. Already about 3-4 car lengths over at the 50 machine. That's going to be the 5. No, that's the 50 machine of Craig Tully, the RBR machine there. Travis Roma right there with him behind him.
You can see Salas here, Paul. He's pulled out to a nice size lead, a little over a second and a half from Tully. Not much of a threat behind him for this quick 20-lap heat race that we have here with Tully and Roma battling it out there. A little bit of contact sending Tully up the track, all the way up the track. I'm sorry, that's the 12 of Montgomery, not Tully. That is the 12 of Montgomery that just got sent up the track, trying to regroup it now, get back into that rhythm, and start picking them off one at a time.
Top 4 is where you want to be here to transfer on into the big show later on here tonight. Vicente Salas up in the front, the 28, the 55 there on your screen. Scored in the 28 on the timing and scoring there. Craig Tully still has his sights set, but drifting back just a little bit further, about almost 1.25 seconds back. Travis Roma right in behind him with the 38 car. John Gahan holding on to that 4th place, but for how long? A little side-by-side action with he and Dave Cassidy.
Some great action here at Hickory Speedway. This is a fun, a little short track that makes for really good racing for these late models and other cars such as your street stocks. These smaller tracks really allow these late models to, you don't get as much high speed at a small track like this, but you really get to be technical, really get to work the handling out of these cars. You see they're still battling it out. We're back up front coming around to 11 to go. Salas still has a little over a second lead over the number 50 of Tully.
Live and interactive throughout the evening here tonight. We're live on Twitch, Strictly 94. We're live on YouTube for the Vidane.tv or Vidane TV page, as well as Facebook for Vidane TV and Tim's Corner Motorsports. Give us a like and subscribe and follow. Give us a message in chat. Let us know who you're rooting for, where you're watching from, and as always, join us over on Twitter as well, Vidane TV. Great to have you here with us, watching some racing action from Hickory Motor Speedway on a Friday night. 10 to go here in the first heat race. You can see a little bit of contact now as we get halfway into this one. Cassidy trying to hold on to that transfer spot, but the 16 to John Gahan, he wants in. He's making that bumper known.
He's able to get under him here, and let's see if the Gahan machine is able to make this happen, as they are side by side still. 16 of Gahan trying to pull it off underneath the 13 of Cassidy, still side by side coming around the line, and it looks like the edge goes to the car in the bottom there of Gahan. He's able to clear him and move on. Now Cassidy has the 12 of Montgomery put up with on the low side.
On the outside looking in, Gahan into that transfer spot, P4, Mitchell Montgomery. Everybody making the show here later on tonight, but you want to make sure that you get that qualifying position. The better you finish in the heat races here, the better pit stall you have at the big show, and the better you're lined up as well. 30 cars making the show here tonight. So big field here for the TCM 300, 3rd annual here on Vidane TV. And great to have you here with us here tonight. And Sal's still up front, that 28 car pulling away ever so slightly. Craig Tully up on the racetrack, just a little bit higher of a race line there for the number 50 car. Travis Roma still in P3. John Gahan rounding out the top 4.
With 4 to go here, unless there is a problem on the track, Salas with a 2.5 lead, he looks to be just walking away with this, with that battle now really starting to heat up a little bit further back. As you see, Gahan in that 16, he's under fire from the 12 of Montgomery, and now the 13 of Cassidy. Just 3 cars under the blanket here. Next time around, 2 to go.
Good track time for these drivers to get out there and get a couple of laps under their belts here in racing conditions, see how the car is going to feel on a long run. And all green so far here, 18 laps in, 2 laps to go here for the 55 car of Salas, holding on to that lead by about 1.5 seconds. You can see in that wide shot there as we get the white flag. Craig Tully still in second, but a little bit further on back. Travis Roma, now John Gahan in at P4, and it looks like we're pretty much single file here, Wes, as we come out of turn number 4 with a checkered flag. Heat race number 1 belongs to that driver, the number 55, Vicente Salas. Craig Tully finished the second. Travis Roma, John Gahan, and Mitchell Montgomery Going to be the top 5, Dave Cassidy, Dave Horton, and Greg Prow rounding out the 8-car field. And just like that, we're going to be lining them up for heat race number 2.
And Paul, that's typically how you want these heat races to go. You want them to go by quick. You want them to be uneventful, and you want to be able to have a nice, clean run. And Salas was able to do that and bring home the win. Now we're going to line them up one more time. Heat race number 2 popping on off here as you see the drivers catching their way onto the grid, Paul. And it looks like the number 2 of Retzlaff. Sorry if I butcher any of these names. He'll be starting pole with the 34 of Mike Arino. Starting second, starting third will be Richard Drake, and that 141 machine. Starting fourth will be the number, looks like the number 29 of, is it Veach? And as they start rolling here, you already see them coming around. You're going to have Chase MacKay in the 71, Trevor Smith in the 33, Troy Burke in the 01, and then Chris Walsh in the 18, rounding out your field.
We saw a good clean heat race number 1 here, and these drivers got the opportunity to kind of sit back and watch that race unfold. So they're going to be able to kind of use that 20 laps and see what worked for some of the drivers, depending on who they were watching, how closely they were watching there as well. And it's always fun to see what these drivers are able to learn kind of early on in the evening, whether it's in qualifying or practice, even these heat races. You'll see a lot of this stuff kind of turn up in the big show, the 250 lapper here later on this evening. And looking forward to it. Going to be a heck of a show here, kind of kicking things off for the winter season with Tim's Corner Motorsports. We're green flag once again for heat race number 2. How about that start for the 2-car?
Paul, he was just fired out of a cannon. That's a good thing about starting pole is you're able to get that start. You have the whole shot basically immediately, and he's able to take advantage of that through a 1 and 2, going on into lap 2 here. We are a single file. The 34 gets a little sideways of Rhino. He's able to hold it there. You see he's hanging it out there in the middle of the corner, especially 3 and 4 there as they come around here. But we are single file so far. We have the 2. We have the 34 Rhino. We have Drake third, and then your final transfer spot going to Veach in the number 29. But now the battle's starting to heat on for second.
Yeah, the 34 car, you may mention, a little bit loose in the back end of that race car. Was able to hold on to it for a couple of laps. You can see Rational Richard Drake jumping on down the bottom side, getting around for that P2 spot. But he's already 0.8 of a second now behind Redscliffe in that number 2 car. Coming in a little late entry here to the TCM 300. Great to have him on board. Definitely showing some awesome car control here. And you can actually maybe ride on board with that 2 car. And Wes, you can kind of, you're not a short track racer, but you're better at it than I am. Maybe you can talk to fans around a lap of this place.
So yeah, you're going to see the in-car here of our leader, that 2 machine. You see that you come off these corners, you got to be really easy back up on the gas. You just can't slam the gas right back down, or that rear end will come out. Probably a little bit of drag in the brake here with the gas in the entry, letting it float in, and then easily get back on the gas. And here at Hickory Motor Speedway, you really don't have much time back on that gas. It's very very limited, so you try to get all you can on the exit of these corners before it's time to enter and trail brake it in.
You can see still about 8-9 of a second lead over Richard Drake, who is in second. Mike Rhino holding on to that 3rd spot. Danny Vitch in that 29, like Mountain Dew machine, still holding on to that spot. Pretty much single file throughout the field here. There's a good shot of the 33 of Trevor Smith holding on to P5, currently with 11 laps to go. Chris Walsh right in behind him. Troy Burke and Chase MacKay still holding on to it as well here. So kind of just another opportunity for these drivers to get some practice laps. Not necessarily a practice. We know everybody's making it into the big show here tonight, so these drivers, a lot of them using the opportunity to get some green flag time out on the tires, kind of see what the car is going to do over a 20-lap run, and see, kind of maybe manage out their pit stops later on.
That's a good thing about having these heat races. You have that opportunity to try different things, see how it's going to feel. With the progressive weather and the way that the grip starts to build up on the track, you get an idea what it's going to do within 20 laps on that feature, how the grip's going to be. And you see this race is a little bit more spread out in that first heat, as we saw, that each car is at least 2 to 3 tenths off of each other. So maybe they've seen something in that first heat where these guys are able to just get into this group and, like you said, use it as a practice session. And I think that's A-okay for our leader Parker up there in that 2 machine, because he's able to just kind of drive off to the sunset.
Feel all 8 drivers on the track right now. MacKay about 11 seconds on back, about a half a lap down or so, but everybody else still pretty much within a pack here. 6 laps to go as we work our way around Hickory Motor Speedway, and it's great to see just how well these guys are kind of working alongside each other and racing with each other. We had a great practice race last night. Talked to Tim a little bit earlier before the show, before we went on the air. So we had a great practice race last night. Had a couple of cautions, but nothing too crazy. And 2 hours or so in the final practice here tonight. A lot of drivers logging a lot of laps around Hickory Motor Speedway. So once we get all 30 cars out on track, I can definitely guarantee the action is going to be all over the place.
Yeah, I make this the equivalent of a basically hot laps almost at your local dirt short track as well, more than a heat race, where these guys really are not trying to push it. They know they're all making the race. It's just shaking your car down, seeing what it's going to take. Oh, the 18 car, by the way, has wrecked into a semi-hauler. Now the 18 is in his pit stall. Paul, I'm not sure if you're able to get a quick replay of that. If so, that could be actually pretty entertaining for the viewers.
Yeah, we'll see if we can load that up with 2 to go here in the U-House Racing Design Instant Replay. Trying to see if we can back that up. But man, tough hit for the 18 car. Still going to make the show, but man, it's crazy to hit that hard of a hit there.
Yeah, you're taking a look at it now. He just comes off the corner. May not be this corner yet. He just hits the wall, kills the wall, comes flying down into the infield and parks it right in front of a semi. So that's never a good look, Paul.
No, definitely not, but definitely a good look for that Parker machine, the number 2 car coming home with the heat race number 2 victory. And just like that, getting them lined up for heat race number 3, the 00 at Caden Tuff's going to start P1 with Chris Roma right on his outside. In black, new colors for that car. The 08 car going to start P3. John Fitzpatrick and the 78 going to start outside of row number 2. Aiden Christensen going to start P5. Tony Wright P6. And Danny Chisholm going to round out the 7-car field here for heat race number 2. And a little bit more of the same here. 20 laps on the docket.
20 laps, as Paul said. We have one more heat after this. This is heat 3 of 4. And then we will go into a consolation race, which will lead us into a warm-up and then a feature event. That feature event is going to be quite a race. Hoping that it's going to be a bit, I guess you could say action-packed, but at the same time, we want a good, clean race tonight. We should be able to get that, but we're definitely going to have some fun.
So, Wes, I got a question for you.
Yep.
So we just saw the 01 during the last couple laps there, just demolish the wall and have going to pits there. Looks like he was a little too tight on exit and just ended up getting the wall there. When we go into the feature TCM 300, what kind of transition will we see the track go into, and how will these short tracks really play out into where do you want to be more on the loose side or tighter side of things on your setup?
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to the driver, but myself, and that's a really good question. I like my car to start off pretty loose and then start to tighten up later on down the road. I want it almost uncontrollable off the start because it should tighten up. At a lot of these tracks, it will tighten up as the race goes and becomes a little bit more snug. And I think that you're absolutely right. It looks like he may have gotten a little tight off the turn 4, popped that wall, or even just possibly got on that gas a little too soon and chased it up the track. But I like to have my cars a little loose at the beginning. As we see the 78 here in 3rd place, a little loose to John Fitzpatrick as he's battling that wheel, and now he's under fire from the rest of the field. He's 3 wide. Contact made here with Danny Chisholm. Gives up that at least one position to Dylan Black, and now Chisholm's trying to look low. But yeah, start off loose, and Chisholm
there he goes.
The 78, setting him up the track, and there he goes. Gets it back started, gets it back rocking and rolling, and we stay green.
Little roughhousing here throughout the heat race number 3.
I'm sorry about that. And turn around, the 24 rolled the wall, just like what we saw the last race of Aiden Christensen. He's able to go keep it straight. Sorry to just cut you off there, but that's now 2 races in a row. We've seen somebody climb the wall. But we have also a battle up front now where Caden Tuff's under fire from Chris Roma.
And then you can see locked on the back bump of the 83 all over the Tuffs in that 00 car. Great color scheme there for that 00 car as well. Saw that a few weeks ago here on Vidane TV. But these guys battling it out. Still 14 laps to go and not beating and banging. And I think we might have to repaint those walls before we get out of here tonight.
They're doing a heck of a job repainting them themselves, Paul, except they're not white. They're painting them black. And This third heat race is definitely showing that this is the most aggressive out of the bunch that we've seen so far. But Paul, you've made the statement that everybody moves on in this race, so it's going to be interesting to see how aggressive Chris Roma gets to get this win from Caden Tufts. If he really pushes it or if he holds back.
Yeah, 100%, and we've got $5 to win the heat races and the consolation race, brought to you by WingNut Productions. So WingNut jumping on board here, Ashton Riki sponsoring that. So a little bit of cash on the line here tonight. Actually, quite a bit of cash, over $500 on the purse. Big time wiggle there for the 00 car. Roma's going to take a peek. He's going to take more than a peek. He's going to try and stick his nose up on the inside of the 00. Not quite there, but still trying to hold on to it, Wes, as they go down into 3 and 4.
Maybe a little nudge there. If there was some, it wasn't too much, I'll tell you that, as they're side by side coming across the line there to take a lap for 12. 9 to go. As you see that 83 of Roma, he's been really patient with this move so far. And the thing about Hickory, man, it takes a while to complete that pass unless you're substantially quicker than the guy in front of you. Sometimes you got to use the bumper or fender here. But so far, these guys are running really clean for the lead.
Yeah, it just seems like Caden Tufts is a little too loose at the moment. With the looks like the 83 just, I guess, just pushing a little too hard coming into the corner. But Caden seems to have a good drive off on exit.
Yeah, they're running it really hard here off of 4 as they come to 6 to go here at the line. You can see on the outside, though, that 00 of Caden Tufts, he's not letting it go easily. He's really trying to fight his way through, as now he has to relinquish to lead. Nothing you can do there. Chris Roma put on a hard fought, but that did bring Danny Chisholm into this battle now in 3rd.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you just kind of settle in, so that way, you don't fight too hard, let the 87 get too close. At least now, Caden can settle in, maybe get the bumper to the 83 in the closing laps. But I guess we'll see how that turns out.
All right, and now here we go. Coming across the line, this will be 3 to go for our leader, Chris Roma. Chris Roma, since getting that lead, really not much of a threat behind him. He's shown that car is fast, and it's fast for a reason. And the only thing that might be a threat to him possibly would be lap traffic, but there's really none in his sight as well, as Popsicle sticks are out. 2 to go. All right, Chris Roma comes across. He takes the white flag. We see if the 00 of Caden Tufts has anything for him here. And Danny Chisholm on his bumper coming through 3 and 4 one more time. Anybody have anything for anybody? And they do not. Come across the line. Chris Roma's the winner. Caden Tufts 2nd. Danny Chisholm 3rd. That is your top 3 here in Heat 4.
Picking them up, putting them down. 3 heat races in the books. 1 more to go. We're going to line up 7 more drivers. This group here being led by Ryan Messer. Just saw him last night. Great race for the NEP Series at Kansas Motor Speedway. 65 laps from Revere Brewing. The Beer Bash, 65 last night. Great race for those guys. Ryan Messer starting P1 here in the heat race. Tanton Wooldridge right outside in P2. Jason Goss in the 41 car going to start P3. Jake Goodman in the 24 starting P4. Terry Duguay, Cooper Toole, and Scott Negus going to round out the 7 cars in this field. And Scott Negus, that 39 car, starting shotgun in this field in the final practice here tonight. Had over 250 practice laps on that car. Was up in the top 6 or 8 on the scoreboards in qualifying trim. So be on the lookout definitely for that 39 car.
For sure. So let's see if this final heat of the night can back up that last heat, which was definitely the most aggressive. That was a fun one to watch. Knowing a couple of these guys out here, Jake Goodwin, I've seen him race quite a bit, as well as Wooldridge. We got some fast guys out here. Ryan Messer, of course, as we're going to see the pace stats go out here soon. And Paul, why don't you plug some merchandise, man? I know you've been working hard on that. Where can these guys buy some Vidane merch?
Yeah, we've got virtual Vidane TV merchandise booths still open. We're over at Vidane.net. A lot of Vidane TV, Rent a Race Car, Angry Tree Guy, and oh, by the way, Liberty Racing League T-shirts and hats in there as well. Use that promo code Liberty. Get you 10% off. Just don't tell Wes I'm handing out that promo code.
All right, green up flag is out. That what a messer with a huge hole shot that we've been seeing from the leaders. You have that opportunity to just fire it off as he did so far. A pretty clean start here off the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, he looked like Wooldridge just didn't go at first. Messer just got a huge jump there, but it's pretty clean at the start.
Yep, single file throughout the pack here with this being the final heat race. I mean, these guys they've learned a lot from the heat races before them, and maybe they just want to get this one home. No sense of really pushing it here, and just do what you got to do. And sometimes that's what you do. Just use this as a learning experience, Matt.
Yeah, exactly. Just use the laps just to learn about your car, what it can do, especially in traffic. Because we got long 300 laps ahead of us. But I mean, a little contact. Yeah, 80 car in the wall. Caution
flies. Looks like Scott Negus just said it was 4th and 10, and he punted him going through the corner there. Paul, if you're able to get a quick replay there, that 39 machine just he saw that bumper, and for some reason he just got to it pretty quickly.
Yeah, so much for cruising around.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Punting, that's a football reference. I started watching football.
Football.
Football. I understood that reference. There you can see it, the 80 car kind of gets up on the brakes, racing with the 14, and just nowhere really for the 39 car. There was maybe a little bit of room, but just being on the brakes that hard, that early for the 80 cars, really a couple of cars going for that same piece of real estate, and you can see big time damage there on the front of that 80 car. But luckily, once we get everything restarted here for the big show, the TCM 300, everybody's making the show, and everybody's going to have a cool, fresh reset on that car. And we're already lined up 2 by 2, ready to rock and roll. Quick cautions here with TCM, and we're going green once again. How about that restart for Messer in the one car?
Another restart that's great for our leader as he comes out of 1 and 2 to clean and green as he likes it. This time he doesn't get as big of a jump on Wooldridge, who's able to just stick straight to his bumper here in 3 and 4, and he's glued to it. A little bit of a shake there by Wooldridge. He doesn't lose too much ground, but and the one hits the wall here. Messer hits the wall entering 3. You typically don't see somebody hitting the wall on entry. This opens up the door now for Wooldridge. They're side by side in 1 and 2. Good contact for the lead.
Jason Goss has a front row seat for this action. He's checking them up just a little bit, just in case these guys send each other into the outside wall. There you can see the one car up into the outside wall again there on the front straightaway, giving it just a little bit of a scrape. He's going to tuck back into the tire tracks of the 56 car Wooldridge with 10 laps to go. Wooldridge, the new leader.
It's almost like Messer's just trying to push it so hard that he's just not turning down into the corner soon enough. He's trying to get as much speed at the end of these straightaways as possible, as much arc as possible, and just tap that outside wall twice on entry, and it's bit him twice.
And that may very well be according to plan. Just seeing how hard you can push the car with a 20-lap run. We've seen most of these heat races. Ooh, big slide with a 1 entry going into turn number 3 there. Big slide coming out of turn number 4 there. He is pushing that car to the absolute limits. I think he's just trying to see what he can get out of the set of tires there. As we can see, got a car around. It's going to be the 14 of Duguay.
The 14 of Duguay. Not sure what happened.
Green now.
Yeah, not sure what happened in 3 and 4 for Duguay. But, he makes contact, though, with the 80 machine. 80 machine coming back at him of Tour. Wow. I'm not sure what the 14 was doing there, but that was crazy.
It may have had a little bit of a receipt stapled to it. We saw those guys going back and forth earlier on. I don't want to talk out of turn, but we'll have to double check on that. But there might have been some contact prior between those 2 cars.
Yep. Max is trying to get a little bit closer there. It kind of looks like he's over driving, like over pushing, like on entry, getting a little too tight on exit. Just because it looks like Wooldridge just gets a better exit off on the corner.
And you can see Wooldridge driving so hard out of turn number 4, smoke coming off that right rear tire, and Messer doing everything he can there in P2 to try and close that gap, but doesn't look like he's going to have enough time. Popsicle sticks in the air, 2 laps to go in this heat race. Wooldridge holding on to it.
Not much time left if Messer is able to get back to the point, but then again, finishing second, starting first, ain't too shabby here in this heat. He's just letting it hang out when it comes across that line there. to take the flag. We got one more time around, half lap to go. Wooldridge just has to keep her clean and green to the end here as he's able to do so. Wooldridge with the win. Messer comes second, and third place. We'll round out with who ended up getting third there. Looks like it was Goss. Jace Goss was able to round up the top three. So now we move on to the consies.
30 laps on the board here with this one. We're going to have these guys back out on track, and twice as many cars for these 14-car field. Montgomery going to be up front in the 12-car. Trevor Smith on the outside. Aiden Christensen going to start in P3. Jake Goodwin, Dave Cassidy, the top five. And we've seen these guys kind of race it out, use the first heat race for a little bit of kind of an extended practice session, so to speak. But I think at this point, gloves aren't completely off, but they're definitely shaped up a little bit.
All right, so just listen to race control here. This will be the final race of this session. So once we finish this, we'll have about a 20-minute break, and then we will go into the 300. So don't you go anywhere after this one's over. That's time to get up, get a drink, get some food, go to the bathroom. After this one's over, about a 20-minute wait, and then we're going to be into our 300-lap feature. So, Paul, I'm excited for that, but until then, we got a consi to run here.
Yeah, 30 laps on the board, 14 cars on track, and this is going to be fun. These drivers know everybody making the field. They've kind of had that kind of in the back of their mind most of the night here. A little bit longer distance this time, and I think we're going to see a little bit of a split in the field. We'll probably see some guys kind of use this as maybe like a tire test, see how they can, how the car is going to feel maybe after 30 laps on green flag conditions. And I think some guys are going to be going for the trophy, going for that W, and trying getting themselves a little bragging rights heading into the big show here.
Yeah, for those that aren't familiar with the consolation races, this is like a last chance qualifier, but since everybody's making the race, everybody that didn't finish in the top four in our 4 heat races are now in this race, and this sets the rest of the field. So basically the winner of this race will start 5th in our 300-lap feature. But there goes the iRacing pace car, heads off pit road, and we are green once again here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
Mitch Montgomery, great start there in the 12 car up in the front. Aiden Christensen having a great start as well. Gained a spot on that start, and side by side. There's an 80 car up in the outside wall. I believe that's Cooper Toole gathering it back up, scraping it once again, but a lot of side-by-side battles throughout the field here as Montgomery holds on to the lead.
Yeah, it looks like a few cars stacked up there when the 80 car got into a wall a little bit there. But I'm interested to see, of anyone who's like, fifth on back, because like to me, like this seems like, especially the 30 laps, it's entering a long run, providing it goes green. It would seem more of like a tire test to me if I'm like, starting 6th to 10th, and I'm back before that. Just because, we got 300 laps afterwards. Why not use this just as a tire test? There's no like, actual real prize, and it's just.
Oh, we got right around. Trevor Smith gets booted. Sorry to cut you off there.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, just saw that. 33
got booted by the 78 of John Fitzpatrick going into 3 and 4. Just kind of sends him around a little real quick, bring out the yellow, first yellow of this constellation race.
And we saw the Yosemite Sam car running up in P2 at the beginning of this one, and going to have to restart this one back at the tail end of the field here. Going to have to try and climb all the way back up. But there you can see, keep an eye on that 33 car. 78 moving on up into the picture and on up into that quarter panel. Just a little bit of a tap. 33 car spins around, gets it locked up. Car does a great job parting the seas, and no contact, no damage on that 33 car. So probably going to come down, get a set of tires, resets, and go on with the race.
And John Fitzpatrick was deemed at fault of that incident, so he will be starting tail end of the field here once we go back green. And the good thing is about these short tracks here, Paul, Matt, is you don't really have a long yellow flag session here. You come around to 2 go pretty quick. You come to 1 to go, and you get rocking and rolling, so you're not having to wait around too long here under yellow. But some really good racing so far through this field here, Matt. Definitely a little bit different than what we've seen in the heats.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like as I mentioned before, the College came out, like it's a great time, even with just over 20 laps to go when we get to green. that is be good for a tire test. See how your car handles more of a bit of a longer run, especially with the tires wearing out, and then just kind of go from there. Especially when entering the 300 lap feature, especially if you're deeper in the field because you want to be able to make your way to the front. And like, as we go green here with Montgomery with a good lead.
As we're seeing the field start to fan out further in the back, but up front, man, there is the battle for second as Jake Goodwin in that 24 has a low line with the other 0-24 of Aiden Christensen on the outside. But right behind them is Troy Burke in that 0-1 just creeping right so closely, waiting for one of them to slip up to take advantage of it. But, man, it's a gaggle further back as well.
And you can see that 80 car Cooper Toole, great recovery in that number 80 car, up into the top 5 once again, holding on to that spot for right now. He's got the 13 of Dave Cassidy, and behind him, Horton is there as well. Chase MacKay still up in that 8th position, a little bit further on back with side-by-side action there. But they're all still chasing Mitchell Montgomery, who's kind of pulling away at this point, 3/4 of a second lead as we cross the stripe. 18 laps to go here, Matt.
Yeah, field starting to spread a little bit of battles going on in the back, but nope, Montgomery's in a solid lead ahead of
Oh,
geez, yeah.
There's so many
too soon there.
Up on the wall there. Chris Walsh taking blame for it, but the 71 climbs the wall. Matt, it seems like just hitting this wall almost automatically means 2 tires are going up on it. For what we've seen in these heat races, now this consolation race, you definitely want to stay off that wall.
Yeah, we stay green at the moment. But I think once we get to the feature, we're going to see more action like this happen. We see here the replay, the 71 just gets loose on an exit. I didn't see any contact happen. So it just looks like he just kind of lost control there. Yeah, just no contact, just got in the wall and up over it. But that could have been more devastating if there was actual contact there.
Back on the track of 33 of Trevor Smith is doing everything he can to make up the ground from starting at the rear from the last incident. He's been battling tooth and nail doing so, and so far so good. He's doing a really good job doing it, not only doing it clean, getting back up into the top 10, but still a long way to go if he wants to improve that starting position for the feature.
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure like all the strategies of some of these drivers. Like I said, like I think some people might look at this as a tire test and just see how the cars are handling. So it might not be take this too hard in terms of challenging for the top spots, and just go for to see how the car handles until the run ends.
I'll be honest with you, if I'm in that top 5, or actually at this point in this race, the top 3. I'm going for the win. Just as a competitor, it's hard to just use it as a tire test, but you're almost forced to. When you're back 4th, 5th furthest, you know you're not about to win this race. Every position, of course, helps, but now is the time to see what these tires can do and change maybe your driving style when it comes to the feature race. Maybe you're driving a certain way that's not going to get it done when that time comes.
Oh no, absolutely, I agree. If I'm Christensen right now, I'd be going trying to go for that win. Within the second of a chance for it, why not? But if I'm, even Cassie, should be top 3, but he's, almost 3 seconds back. Just might as well see how the car handles, see if anything can do, just change your line, see if you can gain any more speed here and there, and see what you can do better with it.
Absolutely, for sure. This time around, it's going to be 6 to go. Our field is basically single file at this point. I think the battles we saw raging on have kind of simmered down, and that's exactly what Montgomery wants. The last thing he wants to see is a caution right now as he sees the flag man wave at him with 5 to go. But this is definitely an entertaining consolation race. I think we're getting a really good idea of what it's going to be like with more cars here on the track here for the feature. Only 14 here, but you just saw how action-packed it was just with 14 cars.
We heard race control a few moments ago. Well, Wes heard race control out. We've got that kind of dimmed down to the public for obvious reasons. Sometimes it's a little bit spicy in there. But we did hear this is going to be the last consolation race. We're going to get everything set up for the big show, 250 lap feature here tonight at Hickory Motor Speedway. TCM 300. We did a lot of. There's some math in there. We'll call it Steiner math. There's a 33rd and a 3rd% chance that we got all the laps right. But in any sense, the big show coming up here later on tonight. 2 laps to go here in the Conti, and Mitchell Montgomery, Aiden Christensen. These guys showing they've got a couple of cars that are capable of winning here tonight.
They really do, and it just shows that just because things don't go right in the heat race, you always got that consolation race to try to make up for it, as we see the white flag now wave on this 30-lap consolation race for the number 2 machine, who comes across now, or number 12 of Mitchell Montgomery, as your winner in convincing fashion, with Aiden Christensen coming across second, Dave Cassidy third, Jake Goodwin fourth, rounding out your top 4, and then 5th place would be, looks like he already got off the track. But one heck of a race there. So, as Paul said, we will be back in about, I would say, about 15, 20 minutes. Be sure to stick around right here. This is the time to go to the bathroom. This is the time to grab your drink. Get yourself ready for a long 300 laps.
Hey, do people normally do like burnouts after last chance qualifier races?
They do on iRacing.
Yeah, you typically do burnouts whenever you get an opportunity, because as soon as you get into a new car, you get new tires and a new motor. So yeah, typically, yeah, for sure. All right, boys. Well, I'll see you guys here in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll be back. We're gonna, like Wes said, we'll get everything lined up here for the big feature event. We're gonna talk to some of the winners here of the heat races and a couple other folks as well. So don't go anywhere. Don't go too far, because we'll be right back here on Vidane TV.
Woo!
And just like that, it is big show time here for the third annual TCM 300 live on Vidane TV. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're live, we're interactive all over the place on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Facebook. And we are down to the nitty gritty, getting ready to kick things off here for the 300 lapper here tonight. And there you can see Vicente Salas qualifying on the pole, taking the pole challenge, going to start P31 tonight and try and make his way back up to the win the race and get a little bit of a bonus on the end of the night. And right there on the outside, going to be Parker Redscliffe in that number 2 car.
Yes, and we see Chris Roma starting P3, Tanton and Wooldridge starting P4, Craig Tully rounding out top 5, Richard Drake P6, Kane Tuss P7, Ryan Messer P8, Travis Roma Mike Rhino at the top 10. And if you want to go to the rest of the field there.
You can see the rest of the starting grid going through your screen as the 55 car drops all the way to the back of the field here. Lots of cars on hand for the big show, the TCM 300, and we're here live on a Friday night for it on Vidane TV. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr., Matt Maher, and in the broadcast booth, Rowdy Wesley Hogue. Joining us later, I think he's down there in line for the snack stand down there. But green flag flies, we're racing here at Hickory Motor Speedway, and a great jump there for the number 2 of Retzcliffe. He's going to grab the lead, the 83, though, right on his back bumper.
Yeah, Chris Roma's going to challenge for that lead again, right out the hop there, right to his back bumper. Retzcliffe going in turn 1, or tight, bumper to bumper. But they're looking pretty spread out right at the moment.
Greg Tully holding on to P310 Wooldridge there. You can see on his screen. Kind of has a little bit of breathing room, but not too much. As you can see, he's got the 00 Tufts making his way up towards the front. Rational Richard Drake there in the 141 car there as well. How about a little side-by-side action with Travis Roma, Brian Messer, and everybody up in this mix here as well. A lot of 2x2 all the way around this racetrack. And we were talking before we even got going with the heat races. We saw some tame driving all the way around throughout the fields with these heat races, as well as the consolation race that we saw. But now that we're in the big show here, 5 laps in, I think the glove's coming off.
Yeah, I with the heat races in the last chance there, it seemed like it was a lot of kind of give and take, trying to see what the car how it's going to handle and see how it would feel and come to 300 laps. Now we're just seeing, got a first caution out here. Who's in the wall? The old one was around. Can we get a replay there?
Yeah, we'll take a look at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay, and we'll back that up and take a little look, see, find out how that 01 car got pointed in the wrong direction. And it just looks like a couple of drivers going for the same piece of real estate here. We're getting into the big show, so we'll take a look and get this loaded up. Get the right button pushed there. There we go. And there you can see focus
backed up by the 01. And then, the 67 trying to make it 3 wide a little bit. Maybe get the bumper there. Just turn them right around.
Not a huge hit, so that's definitely good news for the 01 crew. Going to lose a lot of track position and drive towards the back of the field, but still has a car to fight with here at Hickory Motor Speedway. 300 laps on the docket. We're already 8 laps in. Quick little caution here for a couple of cars going for that same piece of real estate. And again, live and interactive throughout the internet, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Give us a like and subscribe, a share, a follow, all that good stuff, and let your friends and family know you're watching some iRacing action here on Vidane TV. Easy enough for me to say. Tim's Corner Motorsports TCM 300, the 3rd annual here on Vidane TV. And exciting. It's been great racing all night long. Been good, clean racing, and I think we're going to start doing a little beating and banging and fighting for who's going to come home with that championship trophy there at the end of this race.
Yeah, so far I think like Retzcliffe and Roma's got a good battle going for top spots. A little early unfortunate event for the 01 of Burke. I think it's a little too early to have that kind of aggressive driving going on. Getting the bumper to Burke. But hopefully with the early caution, that kind of just sets the example that you can't go too aggressive too early, or else you're gonna ruin not only someone else's night but your night too potentially. So we just keep spread out, keep the action going, and keep it nice and clean.
Paul, I'm gonna tell you what, buddy. You gotta try the hot dogs down at the stand, man. Good stuff.
Did you get me any, or did you eat them all up on the way back up?
There's no way they were going to make it back up here. There's no way. I might have to take another trip down there, if you know what I mean. As the pace car goes off the track, we are back green here at Hickory after the first caution light. Lap 12 leader is I can never say his last name, 2 car. And the caution's out. Oh, big junk in the back. Big junk. Jason Voss is involved in it, as well as John Graham in the 16.
Yeah, another quick caution, like I mentioned before. I think it's just a little too early to have that kind of aggression. We got 300 laps. It's going to be a long night of racing. let's see the replay here real quick. I didn't really catch all the action for it. Yeah, it just looked like the 41 just dove in too deep and just caught the left rear corner panel of the, what number is that car again? The 63? Yeah.
It kind of looked like Paul when he's bobbing for apples. He just went down in there and got him.
Oh, 16, sorry. Not 63.
Hey, Paul, if you want, while we're waiting here, you want to, for those that weren't watching earlier, why don't you plug that merch in? Where can we get some Vidane TV merchandise?
Yeah, lots of cool stuff going on over at the Vidane TV, the virtual merchandise trailer. Check it out at Vidane.net. It's got a lot of stuff going on. The Vidane TV brand, the Rent a Race Car, Angry Tree Guy, Visual Pollution, Liberty Racing League jumping on in there this week with the kickoff of the Vidane.net 500 this past Tuesday night. Phenomenal race put on by the boys over at the Liberty Racing League. But yeah, definitely get those sweatshirts, the hats, all that good stuff. Keep you warm in the winter months. Vidane.net, use that promo code Liberty. Get you 10% off at checkout.
All right, and we are going to restack them and re-rack them. And if I am the driver of that number 2 machine, I don't mind these cautions because he's be able to get up front. He has no threat. But I got a feeling here, once we get a good 5 to 10 green flag laps in, we're going to see less of the caution precautions. I think these drivers will get into a rhythm and be able to start knocking down some laps.
And one of the things we do have to keep in mind with these couple of quick cautions here tonight, incident caps, 45 incident points, and you get ejectocito cuz out of this one. So didn't have anybody come close last night in the practice race last night, but it is definitely something to keep in mind as the aggression boils up as we get deeper into this one.
Yeah, and that's part of why, as I mentioned before, like being a little too early. Like we're not even 20 laps in. Like we only got 2 cautions in our belt. People are should start settling in. May see a little single file, but I don't see the need to have that kind of aggression so early. Like not even 20 laps in, we only got 2 cautions. Like just start settling in, single file. See how the car feels. I know we got some heat races under our belt, but we got a larger field, more traffic, and just kind of just find the groove.
As I'm watching these battles, I'm seeing a little bit of bumper tag throughout the field here. There's a lot of accordion effect. One guy gets in the brakes, guy behind him gets into behind him, and so on and so forth. So have to watch out for that as well. But I think we're starting to get into that groove here, boys, as we're starting to just get into that groove, start to log some laps. Oh, never mind, I am wrong. Hard into the wall. The 71 of Chase MacKay. Big accident in 3 and 4 as he still sits in 1 and 2.
Yeah, caution finally out there for the 71 and Chase MacKay. We thought we just did a hard lick and going straight onto the outside wall. Didn't catch who got him, but he definitely had some help.
We'll back that up on the U-House Racing Design Instant Replay, and love that technology. We'll take a peek at it here on that instant replay. Focus in on that 71 car. You see, kind of gets into the corner all by himself there, down on the apron. Everything looks good, and a little bit of contact between he and the 73 car. 71 just out into the outside wall, crossing up into the racing group. I believe that motor is popped. Nope, fires it back up. So has some motor, but definitely going to be underpowered in that 71.
Yeah. I wasn't sure, but I was just going to say, I wasn't sure if he actually made contact with that 73, but looked like he tried to avoid him, came down, just got loose, and just turned the outside wall.
Do we know if we have any quick repairs tonight?
No quick repairs.
Oof.
It's going to be a long night for Chase MacKay in that case.
Yeah, I'm not even really seeing him on the track right now as I focus through the field. He may have called it a race. I'm sorry, no, I'm incorrect.
Oh, I see him right in front of the 2 car there.
Yeah, he is still on the track here. Looks like he's going to come in around and take a wave around the or is he going to take the wave around? No, he's not going to take the wave around. Looks like he's going to be stuck behind the pace car here for at least 1 more lap. Be interesting to see if he's going to be trapped down a lap here or not. The hard lick, that's not the way you want to start a race, especially this long, a 300-lap race. Really, really early into it, not even, a quarter of the way into it, and your car is in pretty rough shape, but it looks like that he will be taking that wave around.
Yeah, like they say, you can't win a race on lap 1, but you can if you lose the race on early on, and with not even 30 laps in, that kind of a lick is just not good to start your evening, and hard to say how healthy that car will be come the long runs.
Yeah, I don't think health is a the word that he's going to be using much, as we are back green here at Hickory Motor Speedway, 2x2 going into 1 and 2, battling for position throughout the field here. Of course, your leader is able to get that whole shot that he's been able to do all night so far. A little bit more contact in the middle of the pack, and big wreck, car on his roof. Oh man, big wreck.
Oh geez, one car upside down. 7-8 in the pits there, get away. Holy Toledo.
Scott Negus was also involved in that 39 machine. We saw him get involved in a little bit of an incident in his in the Conti as well.
Big wreck, big bottom boom. We're gonna back it up here on the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. Easy enough for me to say, and that was in fact our pole sitter involved in that one, the 55 of Vicente Salas, starting all the way back in P31, making his way up to, well, just about here. You can see they get into the corner. Everything looks good, and there's the incident up in front. Everybody kind of checking up front, and not everybody checking up in the back. And there you see the 55 up on his lid. And, well, we've got that rule here at Vidane TV. When you go up on your lid, we got to take a look from inside of that race car and let the fans know just what it's like driving one of these simulators upside down. We'll give it to you in full speed as well. So there you see everything looks good. There's the incident. Tries to get on the brakes and gets a bump from the back. Just a quick little half a roll over and taking a peek at the pavement there. So Vicente Salas done for the evening. Tough break here on lap 32.
Yes, yeah, and a lot of space for him to go. I mean, the whole track, the traffic in front of him just kind of checks up. Saw someone slam on the brakes and just, accordion effect, and he goes up high, and there's a car right there.
Not only that, but now he is out of the race. He has retired, and we are hearing drivers complain of the sun on the front stretch really being in their eyes. So, Paul, if you get an opportunity to go in car with one of these guys real quick, just kind of give an idea of what it looks like from inside that car going down the front stretch, see possibly how bad that sun glare just might be. As you see here, we're coming down the back stretch as we ride on board, but as we come up and around, you're going to kind of get to see what the sun is as we're heading down into 3 and 4 here. As you come off, yeah, that's quite the glare. That's right in your eye. Yeah, that's a rough one, especially when you're up to speed. You're trying to watch out for what's going on around you. That can definitely be the distraction as we start to double it up again for 1 to go.
And we had a lot of that sun action this past Tuesday night, and one of the things with these long races here, that sun will set in the iRacing world, and it does get better as we get on into this one. But early on, driver's going to have to deal with it for now. The iRacing pace car down on pit road, and we're green once again. How about that restart from Redcliffe in that 2 car?
Paul, he's been on fire all night so far in that 2 machine, able to get that whole shot the way that he needs to get away from all the calamity that is every other car behind him, basically.
Single file for about 3 cars, then they kind of pick up 2 by 2. Another big wreck, 39 car involved, looks like Fitzpatrick as well.
Scott Negus again involved in an accident. This is just not his night, Paul. It looks like that he came off of turn 4, made contact with the 67 machine of Greg Prula, and that's all it took to bring out the next caution.
We'll back that up on the U-House Racing Design instant replay, and we'll see getting in to the corner side-by-side action, focusing on that 39 car. 67 up into the outside wall, comes back down, gives that 39 car a tap, and a couple of other cars, little bumper cars, but no hard hits there other than the 39, so that's definitely good news. The drivers in the back just going to have to get that track position back somehow.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. Maybe Greg Proud probably thought he was clear coming down, but he certainly wasn't.
This is where frustration starts to set in as well, Paul and Matt. This is where, as a driver, you're trying to get into a rhythm, and it's so hard to do so when you're just back under caution over and over and over again. It's hard to really set that rhythm. The only driver that doesn't mind it is your leader, just because it's less laps that he has to really fight hard and wear out his tires. So, so far a rough start, but I have a lot of confidence in this crew that they'll figure this out, and we'll get rocking and rolling, as Mike Alexander is the next driver to retire from this race.
So on that statement there, Wes, you mentioned the frustration and with the many cautions we've had so far, this caution number 5, we're 4 laps into it, 40 laps into it. In terms of your race setup, I understand some drivers may have their car set up for more of a long run setup. How do you plan your pit strategy? If you're looking for, you want more short run speed, or do you want to try to get more long run speed?
As we go green here, Matt, it's hard to tell, because as soon as you start to set your strategy up for a short run, that's usually when the long green flag runs come. I honestly think at this point you really don't change up any of your strategy. It's still pretty early in the race. You still got an opportunity to really go run long green flag. However, if we get to the 125 mark, 200 mark, and we're still having these issues, then I'm going to feel more confident setting my car up more for a short. There's more short runs when I pit and make my adjustments.
You can see these drivers really starting to crank things up here on lap number 43. Cranked it up pretty hard and starting to ease it back just a little bit. A lot of the drivers getting single file here around the bottom. That was a huge wreck.
Geez, coming in 3 there.
Still wrecking. Dear Lord, still wrecking. Oh, Uncle break.
Pace car running someone too.
Pace car just Todd Bodine, Brett Bodine being Brett Bodine.
Definitely gonna have to take another look at that at the Racing Design Instant Replay. A massive hit down in the out there, and we're gonna back this one up way back. Take a look at it from the it's the Vidane TV blimp here tonight, and we'll take a look at it, play it up through here.
Yeah, it looks like the 08 and the 12 is the start here, Paul and Matt. It looks like they come off of 4. They make contact. One goes low, one goes high, and both of them are not able to correct it, and the 08 overcorrects it and gets a mouthful of tire, and it's just calamity from there.
Yeah, I was about to say I thought the 08 went down, but as I see the replay, there you are correct. They just kind of don't correct, like they overcorrect each other, and they weren't just run in, and they go the opposite ways. The 08 in the outside wall, and the 12 on the inside.
Man, and honestly, Matt, I really thought they were going to start getting into a groove there. We're getting close to a nice 8-10 lap run starting there, and starting to get the tires warmed up. And then, unfortunately, we got what we got there. But again, I still have confidence that will come. I mean, this is a really short track. You got a pretty big field here. This field will begin to thin out. You always see it with these large fields, no matter how big the track is. The field will begin to thin out, and as that starts to thin out, I think that's when we do start seeing the long green flag runs. But if I'm a lead lap car, if I'm up front, I see no need to pit right now, because there's no reason for me to be in the back of that.
Yeah, as you mentioned there, Jar's starting to get into a rhythm. With this large field, I think I don't know, as we're seeing, we're on a 6 caution, 48 laps. So we're going to be average 8 laps per caution kind of thing. If this seems to be a trend, it's going to be a short run race all night long. So I think whoever has the best short run car is going to come with the checkered flag.
Listening to race control is getting a little frustrated that some of that black flag might be shown to some drivers here in the back. The big checkup here on the start. The warning has been made to the drivers in the back. Some of these drivers have more incident points than they have laps completed. So race control is starting to crack down. Black flags will be shown if need be. So quite the hiccup there on the start. Looks like they're able to get it all figured out here, Matt.
Yeah, no, it kind of looked to me like Caden Tuss and the 08 kind of spun the tires a little bit. Got a little loose and dove down toward the inside.
Big rack stretch. Big rack back stretch.
Oh, my Lord. Caden 71, the 9 car in the ball, 14.
14
I didn't see who else was there.
The 14 turned to 67, middle of the backstretch. 67 somehow keeps ticking. No way that car's 100%. Man, oh man, that was a lick. Possible single file restarts coming as well, Paul. Just heads up.
Yeah, one of the things I was going to get mentioning here with these cautions, breeding quick cautions, breeding more quick cautions, may very well get that nod for the single file restarts. Try and get this cleaned up just a little bit, but we'll take a look here from the U-House Racing Design blimp, and we'll take a look at the initial contact and see just what kind of followed in behind. There you can see everything looks good so far. There's the contact 67 into the outside wall, and a huge pile up in behind them. A lot of cars getting a piece of the action, but you can see the 67 able to drive away.
Yeah, the 14 got the brunt of it there, Paul, as well as the 71. If we could actually do that one more time, focus in on the 14 car, you'll be able to see all the calamity that happened around him. You know, the 14 did everything he could have to do, but unfortunately it just did not work out.
Yeah, I see a lot of damage with the 14 car there.
You can see the 14 and the 67. There's the side-by-side battle. There's the contact into the outside wall, and there you can see the 14 getting that big hit. Another big hit there for the 71, and just calamity into the racetrack. It's a lot of tough hits and a lot of damage on that 14 car.
Yeah, big hit for the 67 too. Couldn't tell, maybe the 14 came up or the 67 came down and they just weren't clear, and next thing you know, calamity.
We're lined up now side by side, but for how long? We heard race control say might switch that over to single file if we can't get these restarts cleaned up, but we're going to get them 2 by 2 all the way through. Redcliffe Tully, green flag flies once again here at Hickory Motor Speedway for lap number 57, and that 2 car getting the restart that he needs, but this time he's got Tully all over the back bumper of the 87 car, and Chisholm who's there for second.
Yeah, Chisholm had a good restart there, getting close to the back bumper. Might have some company here with Ryan Messer coming inside of the 50 of Tully, but so far looking pretty clean.
If you want to keep an eye on the front of the pack there, Matt, I'll keep an eye on the back and middle of the pack here, trying to see where the next yellow rag might be thrown at. However, I think these drivers are starting to get aggravated back here as well. A little bit calmer now. We're seeing a little bit more single file racing. Again, we're only out coming to lap 60 here. Still a long way to go here at Hickory Motor Speedway. A lot of cars that are just limping around trying to just get laps under their belt, that have a lot of damage, that really aren't in a position to be competitive, and that might actually be helping this field here because it's not as aggressive.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think if Jarvis settle in, the caution is out there. Oh, saw a car around.
Chase MacKay. Car looks like
going to start with the 9 there. Looks like the 9 machine got it to 71, got really loose on his own, came up, hit the 9. Not as big as I thought it was going to be, but I like making Kyle Young irritated. So the 9 and the 71 are the ones that is in that incident. Only a 2-car wreck there, but Paul, to my defense, it's really hard to have a wreck here and not have it big because it is a smaller track.
Huge wreck. Huge. There you can see the 71 car on your screen. The 9 car
there.
Gets in there. Yeah, gets him a little bit of a boop, holds on to it, and the 9 just hits him from the other side that time.
Yeah, I mean, if he just didn't come down like as much as he did, he probably would have cleared him fine, and 71 probably would have been good. Because it honestly looked like once the 9 got into the 71, he was kind of drifting around the corner. Like he looked like he could have saved it, but the 9 just came right down onto him.
80 car Cooper Chukul going to use this opportunity to come down, get some tires put on that race car here on the lap 64. There you see Danny Vitch in the 24 car down there as well. Up in the front, though, still Redcliffe holding on to it in the number 2 car. Danny Chisholm up there in P2. Ryan Messer, Craig Tully, and Caden Tufts rounding out the top 5. And still taking a peek here at live timing and scoring. 21 cars on the lead lap in this one still. So, pardon me.
Oh, we got some news from Race Control. Black flag given to the 09 here of Tony Wright. Race Control has said that it was very easily avoided. He's putting that on the 9 machine and has given the 9 a black flag. So tough break there for Tony. I'm not sure what their black flag is. I'm not sure if it's a pass through, a stop and go, what it might be, but it's a black flag.
Man, Rowdy, I missed your voice.
Good. There's the man, Tony. Tim, explain to us. What's your black flag for Tony here?
He is black flagged for intentionally running into the 71 to bring the yellow out.
Gotcha. Now, what is your black flag? Is it a stop and go? What may it be?
He gone.
All right, he gone. All right, he has a race to monitor here as we are back green. It looks like we had a nice smooth start. It looks like we started single file for the most part here. And maybe that's what this race needed, as unfortunately that 71 machine you see is really off the pace. He's had a tough night, has Chase MacKay, but he's still out there trying.
Looks like Ryan Westclaff in 2 cars. Got a car length and a half at least ahead of the 87 of Dane Chisholm. He's 1 car, Brian Messers, on his bumper. Getting close there. So it's a good battle for the lead so far.
That 71 machine has made his way down to pit road to hopefully work on some of that damage. Hopefully it's not out of the race. Hate to see a driver fall out this early, especially to an incident that wasn't exactly his fault. Tough break, but I think that single file start is what we needed here, Paul, Matt, as it seems like the field is starting to spread out a little by little. We're seeing a little bit more give and take here, and let's see how long this lasts as the field takes lap 72.
Yeah, I definitely think it's what we needed to have that field spread out in single file. See what the cars can actually do. The tires wear on, providing the run goes longer than 25, 30 laps, and see what we can do here. It's been a long night of racing, 300 laps ahead of us, and just see who really can handle the cars with worn tires. I think that's really what it'll come down to it. See who can perform better.
Oh, man, he's still getting hit. The 16 machine of John Graham. Oh, man. That's a big one. He came off of turn 4. He just watching it back real quick as Paul gets it back to you, hits the front stretch wall, climbs it, hits the tire barrier, does a bunch of rolls in the air, then gets slammed by, it looks like the Mitchell Montgomery 12 machine.
Let's see the replay here.
This is one of those ones that we have to take a look at in slow motion, and you can see the 16 car heading on up the racetrack. Goss up there as well, and there you can see hits the outside wall up into the fence, gives it a little bit of a wall ride. Can't really control those front tires because they're just not making any kind of contact, and there is a massive hit into those tire barriers. Holy moly!
No real help there for the 16 with that wreck there. Looks like just got a little too tight, a little too much throttle on exit. There's gotten a wall there and just
go in-car on the 16 if you can. I think we need an in-car view there, Matt. What do you think?
I believe so. With that amount of flips, absolutely. It's kind of reminded me of a mixture of I think it was Martin Truex in the Busch series there back in like 06 or something like that, or 05, and like almost a sprint car going overhead or over heels there.
Almost like Carl Long at Rockingham, just randomly flipping down the backstretch. Just reminded me of. Man, I'll tell you, you cannot wreck and have it not be serious at this track. This is crazy. And John Gahan has made his way out of his car into the infield care center, retiring from this race after he's not only in concussion protocol but also vertigo protocol as well as alien abduction protocol. He is feeling it.
Was that one of our longest green flag runs so far?
That was. I didn't get a lap count, but Paul, I believe that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, single file restart's going to kick things off here, and Tim, things are getting kind of spicy as we get going here after a calm start to the evening.
It's calm, yeah. Our restart rules are 40 laps, by the way. So these guys got to go 40 laps before they get their doubles back. We're going green.
And speaking of green, the green flag is back in the air. And again, the driver who does not care about how many cautions there are is Parker in that number 2 machine. As he has let it flag to flag so far with absolutely no pressure behind him. With these yellow flags going out so much, he's able to save his tires. And that's what the field does not want to see, as he's been able to show the way this entire way here, Matt.
Well, Ryan Messer's hot on the heels there, within 4/10 of a second there behind him. Getting closer per lap there. I think that's probably the closest competition he's had all day with Ryan Messer at the moment.
67 wrecked in 3 and 4 cautions out. Self-spin there by the 67. Greg's not having the race he wants to have here, Matt. This is another incident for him. A solo incident as well, just losing into 3 and 4.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's check the replay to make sure that it was a self-spin and nothing more. Yeah, absolutely correct. It just looks like he just lost the handle of it, overcorrects it in the outside wall there.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those races of attrition, I got a feeling. But the other side of it, Matt, is we're seeing common denominators. We've seen the 67 in these wrecks, the 60 or the 71, the 13. It seems like the certain drivers have been involved in all these incidents from the heat races to now, which is interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they don't have the handle right on the cars yet, or maybe the setup's not proper, or maybe it's just track position or whatnot. But I see a few people on pit row right now, the 56, and I think I saw the 12 there, and didn't catch the other number. But some of the leaders haven't went to pit road yet. We see Retzlaff still in the lead, and Messer still out there. Kind of interesting they haven't gone in the pits yet for tires, at least, and just seeing, I guess maybe they're still able to, top 5 still doing pretty good on tire wear, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another thing is the guys that have been in these incidents, Matt, are fast guys. And I think some of that might be impatience and frustration. They get involved in one incident, they get put further back in the pack, and they want to get back up front as soon as possible. And it's just impossible to do without, roughing up the drivers around you. Unfortunately, we're seeing that as well, as it looks like we are going back green here at Hickory Motor Speedway. And again, showing the way is Parker in that number 2 machine, followed up by Ryan Messer in that number 1.
Yeah, it's funny they mentioned, them being fast guys that are, involved in these wrecks. To me, it sounds like maybe their car is more set up for just short runs. They're trying to take advantage of their short run speed, just trying to get in there, and then they're just either getting too loose for what it is, or they're just making contact with drivers that are checking up when they're trying to make their way to the front, and they just get collected in these accidents that they obviously don't want to be collected in, and they're trying to avoid.
For sure, and I'm not sure how long we're going to have this green run, as I'm seeing further back on the pack here, Matt. It's still getting a little aggressive, man. These guys, this is the other downside of cautions, reading cautions. You have to pick up the positions where you can. You feel like that next caution is just around the corner, and so you just try to pick them off, 1, 2, 3 at a time before that next caution comes out, and you slowly work your way up through the field. So a lot of strategy comes into these races that are caution filled. But one thing we want to keep an eye on here, Matt, is the 87 of Danny Chisholm. Almost every race that I've called of his, he's usually a factor, and he's worked his way up now into the top 10.
Yeah, no, any live race I've seen in him, like usually in a legend car, but he's done really well for him, on the scene in the legend cars. But no, so far he's running pretty clean. I just saw there with the 83 of Chris Roma getting close to Caden Tufts there with the bumper, and we mentioned, in terms of caution, breaking cautions, you kind of gotta wonder, like, is he just trying to get underneath the Caden Tufts, or is he trying to move him out of the way? How much do you push the envelope when it comes to getting close to someone, or where do you draw the line at, I guess? Especially of the race into it.
The leader just spun Chase MacKay. Chase MacKay in that 71. Again, another common denominator, going really slow in front of the leader coming off turn 2, and just punts him. Just absolutely punted the 71 of Chase MacKay coming off of turn 2.
Can we see a replay on that there, Paul? Just to make sure
Yeah, we'll back up the U-House instant replay. U-House Racing Designs instant replay, easy enough for me to say. I think I've done that like 3 times here tonight. But there you see the 71 car is the leader right in behind him. And down on the bottom of the racetrack, tough to say. Yeah, it's 71.
He was in the way.
He was in the way, yeah.
To me, it's one of those things where Chase MacKay should have been out of the way to begin with. Like, why are you going down? You know, if you're that,
we get another angle of that too.
If you're that slow when you're already like laps down, why are you going the same line as the leader? Just be on the top side. Like, there's no one there. Just get out of the way and keep running on track.
Matt, I'm right there with you. If I'm the 71, I'm on the high side here. Just letting him go.
Yeah,
he stopped.
Yeah, and like I see, Parker's obviously faster, but he wanted to keep that lead that he has on Ryan Messer. So he's not trying to slow up, get around him. Where if he moves them, then he moves them. But if he slows up, well, then Ryan can take advantage of that lost time.
Yeah, not much you can do in a position like that. It's really unfortunate for both parties because the 71 just it's not a miserable race. He's just trying to do his thing out here, and unfortunately that happens. So, but it is what it is. But this is going to be interesting though. Now we see Parker. I'm sure he's a little frustrated, but also as we were watching that, I was wondering what was going to happen with the lap traffic coming up when we saw that. So even though he's led every single lap so far, it shows that lap traffic can really play a toll here as we have taken a lap of 100 here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
Red Cliff pulling off by 3 or 4 car lengths, about 0.4 of a second lead over Ryan Messer. Now Craig Tully in third, Chris Roma, Mike Rhino the top 5. So far, so good. Everybody seems to have stretched out right now. Kind of heated to the race officials' warnings here, and things getting a little bit spicy here in the first third of it, but we're working lap number 102 and 1 car off the pace. And looks like down on the aprons, out of harm's way here at this point. Danny Bitch coming down pit road in the 29 car.
That's Mitch Montgomery that is off pace there. We saw Mitch do a really good job in that first heat tonight, but however, the feature has not gone his way as he is multiple laps down, sitting in the 24th position. Just not a good race for him here tonight. Just trying to log lap, collect as many points as he can. And another wreck here in 1 and 2, but we stay green. That was a 35 of Cadell. He went around in front of the pack. He's back rock and rolling. Not sure if he got help or not. I'll do a little rewind myself here to try to answer that for you. And he did.
Yeah,
he got a little help from everyone, it looked like there, Matt.
Well, I saw him go sideways there, but I'm not able to rewind it. But I just seen him go sideways. I saw some smoke coming out of retires, but didn't see him go fully around though. The one thing I'm really taking a look at is Richard Drake at a 141 Lakers news car there. He seems to be able to roll to the corner pretty nicely, and he just having to get that little edge on the 83 of Chris Roma when he's diving in there. Got the 87 of Danny Chisholm going underneath 4 and 41, but no, he's running good race here, running pretty smooth, but he's seems to be in line in terms of time-wise with the leaders.
Danny Chisholm, we talked about it about 20 laps ago to keep an eye on him when he was sitting 10th. Now he's moved his way up into the top 5 already. So smooth run here for Danny Chisholm in that 87. Again, keep an eye on him as he's picked his way through this field, kept his car fairly clean, and doing what he needs to do to contend for this win as the leader takes lap 109.
Everything seems pretty calm right now. Everyone's so right out. The only closest battle right now is the really top 3 between Redslav, Messer, and Tully. We see a kind of car slow on the infield. 29 of Danny Beach.
Yeah, not exactly sure what's going on with Danny, but he has pulled it off the racing surface, which is good. We stay green.
Yeah, he's high on the track right now. Since he got the speed back in the car. Right in front of Redslav.
Quick note from what Paul said earlier about that sun setting. The sun has basically sat all the way down behind the trees. These drivers have little less to battle here coming off 4 down through the front stretch where that sun just isn't glaring in their eyes nearly as bad as what it was. So that should help us keep it clean and green a little bit as well as we are working on our longest green flag run of the race.
Yeah, Get on the 29 of Danny. Get in. Oh, we had a car around on the inside pit wall there.
39 again. Scott Negus, once again, one of those common denominators, comes around. He actually got a bump there from the 73. Sent him around and finishes it off.
We'll take a peek at that at the U-House Racing Design Instant Replay. And one of the things we got to keep in mind, mentioned it earlier on, 45 points incident point cap here. And I got a feeling we're going to be getting pretty close with some of these drivers here. See if we can pull that stat up. We'll take a look here at the replay, and then we're going to come back to pit road. So it looks like that is a busy spot. The 73 getting a little bit of a bumpski there. 39 car goes around, gets pointed up into the wrong direction. And Redscliffe giving up the lead for the first time here tonight. Going to come down pit road, get some tires and fuel. Tully's down there, as well as Richard Drake, Dave Cassidy, Fitzpatrick, Roma, Rhino, Goss, all down on pit road. Everybody else staying out, handing over the lead to the one car of Ryan Messer.
Paul, and then just a little bit of a note there, that is Horton's second caused yellow flag. So I think if there's 3 yellows, I believe they're parked. I'm not exactly sure how Tim runs it, but that's his second yellow flag penalty. So I think one more and he's done.
I will say, like, Messer is now in the lead now. Interesting to see how his car handles in clean air, but where we saw like only 3 or 4 cars that take pit road there for fresh tires and fuel. Interesting to see how the field will work that way with 3 cars having fresh tires out of the gate, with Redscliffe, Drake, and I can't remember who the other one was, but see how they worked their way and how quickly they work their way back to the front.
It's going to be interesting to see what Parker can do in that number 2 machine. We've seen him lead it, flag to flag, and Matt, I can't tell you how many times Paul and I have called races where the guy that dominates the race pits off sequence or maybe a little bit off, and he gets back on the pack and gets caught up in a big wreck that costs him his race. Paul and I have seen that happen time and time again. Hopefully that doesn't happen here to Parker here tonight, and he's able to fight his way back. But at the same time, if you're looking at the lead lap cars, there's only 10 on the lead lap, so he's not really losing too much. But still, that's now 9 more cars he needs to pass.
Absolutely. Like with 9 cars in the lead lap, if you got fresh tires, that's really nothing compared to how big the field really was when it started. I think it was a good strategy to take those fresh tires down. You work your way back to the front, and then another 100 laps go by. You get those fresh tires again, and just try and make your way to the front and stay up front until the very end.
And as we see right now, for some reason, iRacing has that number 2 machine behind some lap cars here on the start. Not exactly sure what's going on, but it looks like they're trying to figure out right now if he's able to pass these lap cars. But it looks like they're not going to realign him. A possible iRacing bloop, or maybe he did something wrong that he shouldn't have. I did see him come down pit road on the last pit lap, or last caution lap, so maybe that's what caused it, not sure. But as the green is out, Parker has to work his way up through the majority of this field now. 9th position, but on the track, he's almost like 20th, so be interesting to see what he can do.
Well, he's showing just under 5.5 seconds behind the leader, so not too bad considering what happened. Just under 180 laps to go. Still lots of time to make up the time. Gets it back to the front, gets the lead again. But again, there's definitely going to be at least one more pit stop to take place. Just curious to see now where that will happen.
One of the things to keep in mind here, just taking a look at the timing and scoring, a lot of those drivers lost that lap under the caution flag there. This track is so short and it takes so long to put 4 tires on these super late models. Those guys lost that lap under caution flag. And, pardon me, and I think the mix-up with Redscliffe was he was able to get off pit road in time to stay on the lead lap, but had to restart at the tail end of the longest line. So that's going to be something a lot of these drivers are going to have to keep in mind here when we come to have to pay here under caution in the future.
Thanks for the explanation there. I'm sure that he's probably wondering what was going on there as well, but yes. And now he has to pick his way through this pack. But again, just like you said, Matt, you've got another pit stop to come. You've got some of the freshest tires out there now. And now it's how do you manage it, working your way up through the pack. Still sitting 9th where he restarted, which I know has to be really, really frustrating because all these passes and all this tire that you're using is against lap traffic. So, but again, we saw Danny Chisholm come from 23rd to work his way into the top 5, so it can happen.
Yeah, speaking of Danny Chisholm, he's down challenging for the lead there on the inside of Ryan Messer. He's gonna looks like he's gonna clear him on the exit of 2. Just there, not quite. There we go, clear now. Danny Chisholm, new leader.
Ooh, a little bit of contact there between Messer and Roma there coming out of 4, but no harm, no foul. They stay side by side here for second. Finally getting a battle up front. That's something we haven't seen all race. Parker had the lead and just never looked back. Everybody kind of stayed single file trying to get up to him, but now the battle's on, and Messer now loses third, and now he's going to try to hold on, or lose the second rather. Now he's going to try to hold on to third as now he's under fire from Wooldridge there in the 56 machine.
Yeah, I've been watching Messer almost all night, recently, and it looks like he has a bit more of a longer run car, and with these, first 5 laps or so, he might lose a few spots, but he's going to gain him back as the run goes on, providing those tires are still pretty good.
Yeah, remember, there are going to be drivers behind him that are on fresher tires, so I'm sure that's going to play into it as well. We're following up on Parker there in the number 2 machine. He's only made up 1 position so far since the restart, so still with his hands full as now he's trying to get into that 7th position, trying to pass the number 80 of Tool as he's able to do so, going down in the wall.
Yeah, and we see Richard Drake following through to Parker Reska, trying to get around the 80 car as well. That might be about it for lead later on if the leaders decide right now to pit soon. I think we'll be looking for them closer to the end of the race.
For sure, and now we're starting to see them really get into that groove. The single file starts, I think, have helped out with that. Again, we've had the field thinned out a little bit. You see some of those common denominators that we're bringing out the cautions, or at least involved with them, are not on the track, and sometimes that's all you need. And looks like that's working out as you see these guys battling pretty hard as Danny Chisholm going to come around here as your leader to take lap 137.
Yeah, I just saw the 14 car there momentarily ago. They're getting right up high, up towards the wall. I don't know if he got into it, but he's getting out of the way to the leaders. Yeah,
I've been seeing him let the leaders go. The smart thing to do here, maybe learn from the 71's mistakes. Realize that it's probably best just give them the preferred line, let them go and live to see another day. But nonetheless, a lot smarter driving we're seeing here. Even notes a tail for 3 and 4. We've got a little bit of a gaggle back here. But smarter driving here. I think a lot of these guys just want to get this thing to the end.
No, absolutely. As we see, Chisholm having almost a second and a half lead on Chris Roma. There's the gaggle of cars here from second on towards 5th there. Almost bumper to bumper. That's really the key battle at the moment, as we notice with Red Scout trying to get towards the field. His next challenger is really Ryan Messer, and then towards the front. So we'll see how that plays out.
41 for 34. Mike Rhino goes around. I was watching that battle for a while. 34 just got punted by the 41 of Jason Gossi. That was a rough one going down into turn 1. He just big checkup. The 41 didn't see the checkup, brings out the caution, but that's a nice little green flag stint we had there, Matt.
Yeah, no, absolutely it was. And as we watch the replay there, I will mention that this will actually benefit Parker Resclav, with the realignment of the field. With his fresher tires, it's gonna really let him not so much stress out his tires and just be able to get closer up towards the field, towards the front.
Now the interesting part here is does anybody pit that didn't pit before? As we see cars coming down pit road, and see a couple. Danny Chisholm, your leader, being one, coming down the pit road, getting some tires put on his machine. That Chevrolet Camaro getting some fresh rubber.
I think that's really the smart idea right there. It may probably give Reskov back the lead there, but overall, they're only going to be 20 laps fresher tires for compared to Reskov, so nothing too abrasive. Nothing that's 20 laps doesn't mean a whole lot when it comes to a short track race, but it's definitely a lot better than having being behind the 8 ball, really.
For sure, and that will bring your race leader back out, P7, as he's scored right now as we start to line them back up. And we still have only 10 cars on the lead lap. That might be 11 once we come back to green. I'm not too sure with that, with the lucky dog. Not sure if the lucky dog's being counted yet or any kind of wave rounds, but we'll see once it goes back green how many cars are on the lead lap. But right now, your leader being scored is Wooldridge in that number 56. He's sitting first with Caden Tufts sitting second. Craig Tully in that number 15 machine sitting third. Fourth place being Parker. Parker's back up to fourth already, so this should work out for him with Dylan, who is going to be fifth. Looks like Richard Drake is being fifth, but he's getting cycled back as well, so we'll see what the lineup's going to be here as we take one to go.
Yeah, currently as the leaderboard sits, as what I'm seeing is looking like Chisholm is fifth on my leaderboard, with Drake behind him and Messer in seventh. So that's interesting to see, considering Chisholm and Messer just pitted under this caution. So I'm wondering how that's going to play out with the top three not pitting, and we have Retzlaff, who has 20 laps older tires compared to Chisholm and Messer, and Drake also in that 20 lap behind the 8 ball there for tires.
And not to mention, we only have 7 cars on the lead lap, Messer being the last car on the lead lap. So we'll see how it goes with the tire management here. Parker may have put himself behind the 8 ball by pitting when no one else did, and now he has older tires, and now you have to work that strategy and see if he's able to make these older tires work. Thought maybe pitting early may have been a benefit to him, but we shall see as the field takes the green one more time here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
You see Wooldridge gets that good jump on the start there, but Caden Tufts comes in close there, following P2 with 0.2 of a second behind him. Retzlaff now in third. Chisholm and Tully round the top 5. Close battle between Tully and Chisholm now. Chisholm was the first car with the right off the bat fresh tires.
And quick run on Messer actually got a penalty during that stop, so he did get an EOL. So Messer has to fight his way all the way up through this field, very similar to what Parker did. And Messer actually.
The comment between 1 and 1.
Messer, again, we talked about it before there, Matt. These fast guys in the back, trying to make their way up to the front, mistakes can happen.
Oh, absolutely. Especially now we're halfway through the race. You know, you're starting near the back. Whether you're still on a lead lap or you're not on a lead lap, but you're trying to make that time back. Right now it's time to pounce. Like you're trying to do everything you can. You're halfway through the race, like I mentioned. You can't make any mistakes, but you have to do it quickly.
You do, and Chisholm up front made his way around the number 2 car, Parker, going to third place. It looks like those fresh tires are really coming into play now here for Danny. Danny was able to put a number on the field when on equal tires. I can only imagine what he's going to be able to do here on fresh tires as he works low on Caden Tufts for second position as they're side by side at the corner. This shouldn't be too much here for Chisholm as he gets down in the 1 and 2, still low. He's able to clear him, sets his sight on the leader going into 3. We got one tap on the bottom of the track here, going out of 3 and 4. That was the 14 machine. That's Terry in the 14, one of those common denominators.
Yeah, no, just noticed that too. The smoke out of the 14 there on kind of 4. But as we get back to the battle for the lead here between Wooldridge and Chisholm, I just want to mention that the red class had also an easy time getting around Caden Tufts for the third spot with those little fresher tires compared to Caden. But you're right, Dan Chisholm's with the fresh tires is going to have an easy time getting around 56 here of Wooldridge. So unless there's a quick caution coming soon, I think we're going to see a battle between Chisholm and Retzlaff, but Chisholm has the obvious advantage.
Put it in reverse, Terry. Oh, man, what a race so far as we see our new leader, Danny Chisholm, able to get his way around, takes the lead from Wooldridge, and now it's going to see if Parker, who led the majority of this race, sit in P3, if he can do the same. And maybe track down Chisholm as he gets possibly locked up behind lap traffic here. Is a little bit of blinking here from Chisholm as well here and there. Nothing to really be concerned about, but I'm not a really big fan of bad internet connections.
Yeah, no, I saw a little bit of bad connection for Chisholm, but I don't think there's anything really to worry about. You know, Wooldridge still is second behind Chisholm right now at the moment. Really, the battle right now is between Wooldridge and Redslav. I think there's still too much of a gap between Chisholm and the 56 of Wooldridge for there to really be any cause of concern. So he's out there just kind of laying down, just trying to keep the same pace and be consistent.
All right, and a poll has been set up on the Liberty Racing League Twitter. The poll is, what is Paul Strickland Jr. eating right now? The option A is a hot dog. Option B is a hamburger. Option C is salad with, in parentheses, LOL, yeah, right. Option D is his own fingers. So be sure to go to Liberty Racing, Vidane Racing on the Twitter, Vidane Racing on Twitter. Feel free to participate in that poll.
But now, is it a hot dog from Hickory, or where is it from?
It's from wherever Paul found it. It could be in between the couch cushions.
Who the hell gave you the Twitter password?
All right, and we see Danny Chisholm starting to make his way up through the pack. It's good that we have some time to poke and prod right now, because that means we're staying green, which is something that we haven't done all race. So this is awesome to see. And on the team radio, Parker in that 2 is getting really fed up with Wooldridge. He has came on the radio and just screamed at him like, "Move, come on!" He's saying he wants that spot. He feels like he's being held up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the 2 start using that bumper. Or possibly he's getting upset with this lap traffic that's holding them both up. So this should be interesting here coming down into turn 3 and 4 to go 3 wide with a 14. Ooh, I know Parker's not going to be happy about that one either.
Yeah, I think at the same time, though, even with 20 laps fresh tires at this moment now, they're almost like even in terms of tire wear. Parker trying to haul his butt to get around the 56 is just not working, and Wooldridge just coming down in front of him. Doesn't have to work that hard to defend himself. So, the tire wear differential is just not there. So I think Parker's just working too hard to do it.
Mitchell Montgomery on the front stretch there climbed the wall, put it back on all 4, and kept going. That is definitely a trend that if you hit the wall here, your right sides are coming up. No, we got some action in 1 2. Got the 80 and the 41 getting together, but keeping it straight, keeping it green. Goss got together with the 80 of Tool. They were able to keep it straight for the most part, bouncing off the wall. No one turned it around, so we stay green, and we keep going with tonight's longest green flag run to date.
Yeah, it's good to see now under this long green flag run that who has the better car, who's fastest, and who can really handle the car with the worn tires. As we see now, Parker Redslav finally gets around Tanton Wooldridge in a 56 car.
I'll tell you what, Matt, further back in this pack where there's just a gaggle circling around this 35 machine, a Cadell, these cars are just they're just wearing their tires out. You're seeing a lot of these guys getting tight up off the corner. They're driving them in hard. I think if there is another caution that comes out in this race, it's going to be with them here. They are racing their tails off further back in the middle of the pack. And that's good to see because it shows every position counts.
Oh, absolutely. But with only 7 cars in the lead lap, I mean, how much do you want to really put that much effort into wrecking someone else just to get a caution?
For sure, and with that being said, Danny Chisholm is putting it on the field. He has stretched out his gap to about 3 seconds on Parker in that number 2 machine, and it doesn't seem like there's anything anybody can do about it, as that number 87 is just hooked up, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to stop him other than possibly Mother Nature or a caution. But again, it looks like the 141 is the last car on the lead lap by Richard Drake, and if we look to see where he's at, he's only 3 cars ahead of Chisholm, so that might be one to watch here, seeing how he will race Chisholm once Chisholm gets up to him.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really seen much, lately from Richard Drake. I mean, it seems like he's been kind of conservative and just kind of taking his time lately. I noticed earlier he was running good on short runs, but his long runs just kind of been taking a toll on that car. It looks a little tight at the moment, but I can't tell from him. I'm not in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I think everybody's feeling that tight conditions right now. This is the longest green flag run they've had all night, including the consies, the heats. They haven't ran this long green, and they're getting an idea of how this feels. Might be running to a point where we can actually have double file restart again if the caution were to fly again. I'm going to say if, because I don't think it's winning right now. I think these guys are doing a really good job of keeping it clean and green, giving and taking as of now.
No, absolutely. But even still, then I think there's still a chance we'd have a green flag pit stop nonetheless. Well, I should say just pit stop, because whether it's on the caution or on the green, we're gonna have to have some people come down pit road and get some tires and some fuel to make it to the end.
And it's to check up on Messer. Messer has worked his way up to 6th position as he's working his way up through the field, and more discontent from the number 2 machine of Parker. Not happy with the 24 machine getting around Jake Goodwin, but nonetheless he is around him, and now he's just trying to tick him off one at a time. He understands Danny's gone. Parker, I think, is pretty frustrated. He led the majority of the beginning of this race, and just getting off sequence cost him that lead. iRacing putting him behind the lap cars, and now here we are. He's in struggle bus sitting in P2.
Yeah, I know. I totally understood the frustration with Parker red stuff there, because you got lap cars in front of you, or slow cars in front of you. You expect them to kind of get out of the way, because you're trying to go for, whether you're 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds behind the leader. You're trying to make as much ground as possible you can to take advantage and just trying to get to the front, right? So the less people in front of you and less complications, the easier time will be to get back to the leader.
For sure, as we have taken a lap of 190, these guys are really picking them up, putting them down right now. As again, Chisholm is your leader, with Parker running a second place, doing everything he can to try to wind him down. As now the gap is 3.5 seconds, so it's definitely growing.
Yeah, and I could see even Parker trying to short pit a little bit here, and just to try to get a little bit of advantage on tires and hope for caution later on, just to see if he can regain that momentum to get that top spot back. Because we see him in second place right now, but he kind of struggling. He's still 3.5 seconds back, and it's not looking well at the moment. You get Danny should have just put a lap down over Richard Drake, but even so, it's he's now rest stop is 3 points, almost 3.6 seconds behind Chisholm, and it's not getting any better.
And the next car that would be in Chisholm's sight would be Ryan Messer, who we saw leading earlier tonight as well in that 6th position. Ryan is either A, hoping for a caution, or B, hoping to keep passing as many lap cars as he can before Danny does. Because Danny's he's a rocket sled on rails right now, you could say, as he works his way through this traffic. But nonetheless, this is a hell of a show by all of these guys. Just 300 laps is a long time in the seat of one of these race cars, even virtually, where it really takes a lot of focus and your attention.
Oh, absolutely, and even for myself, the longest race I've been a part of, well, in terms of the longest show, it's been about 8 hours. But in terms of the longest single event race, is 250 laps that I've been a part of, and that was a long enough time for me to just be behind a camera, let alone now behind a mic for a virtual race. And this is exciting. It's definitely a lot in terms of trying to know certain strategies and trying to put any sort of input I have for it. And it's been fun to watch, to say the least.
difficulties there. A little bit of third world problems there with internet problems. But while you were gone, the 0-1 self-spun. The 18 and the 35 spun down into pit road, and that's about all you missed. It sounds like the most action we've had in the last 50 laps, and unfortunately happened during a quick commercial break. But we are here to the end. Again, our apologies, but we are here rocking and rolling again at Hickory, and the caution is out. The caution has flown in turn 4. Caution's out turn 4, trying to see what happened. I'm not seeing what happened. Not exactly sure, but I'm hearing caution's out turn 4.
We're getting the video feed back up and running. The technology is fantastic when it works out. A little bit of a blip in the matrix here at Vidane HQ. You're going to have to yell at the internet service provider, but we're getting that video feed back up and running here. Won't be able to get a replay on, but we will be able to come back in and take a look at what's going on here. A couple of drivers down on pit road, it looks like. Redscliffe, Danny Chisholm down there as well. And good opportunity to come down, but you really got to make sure you focus in where that leader, where that pace car is going to be. Because we've seen a lot of these drivers go down pit road and lose a lap.
Danny Chisholm giving up a huge lead to come down pit road. However, there were only 6 cars on the lead lap, so I guess it wasn't that big of a sacrifice, so to say. But looks like Tony Wright got an EOL there. If we can find what number Tony Wright is, I can at least get you an idea. That was the 9, so I'm going to get an idea of what brought out the caution for us, even though we don't have a replay. Looks like Tony came through 3 and 4. Okay, Tony was looking like he was slowing down to go down into pit road to make his pit stop, and the 50 machine behind him gave him a bit of a bump, and doing so sent him around, and he spun about a half spin around. He stopped on the track for a little bit. Caution came out, and then he's back up and going. So that's what ended up happening there. All right, so we do see Parker coming down pit road, so now he's going to be on the same set of tires as Danny Chisholm, which is going to make this very, very interesting with only 7 cars on the lead lap now with the wave around, which was Caden Tufts.
Still about 20 drivers in this race. It looks like Tony Wright in the 9 car are going to park it in 21st position. A couple other drivers still trying to kind of battle it out, racing for position, although being a lap down from our leaders. Now, new leader up front going to be the 50 of Craig Tully. RBR kicking their 6th season off coming up in December, and I believe they're still looking for drivers, so be sure to check those guys out on Facebook. And interesting dynamic up front. Tully in the lead, Messer on the outside, Chisholm, Wooldridge, Tufts, Redscliffe, Drake. That's it for lead lap cars. They're lined up 2 by 2. We got that 40 lap run we needed. Those double file restarts are coming back.
And Paul, Matt, the top 2 did not pit. Keep that in mind. Top 2 did not pit, so this could be very interesting on this start. As next time around, we're going to get one to go. Matt, I'm not sure how many races you've seen on iRacing where the top 2 stay out when everybody else came in, but this could be very interesting.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be really interesting with the top 2 there. I can only see it kind of stacking up, but let's see how Danny Chisholm deals with the top 2 being a little slower with the tires, and see how they start off.
Another big thing with these top 2 staying out, they didn't let anybody take a wave around. Nobody took a wave around, even if they wanted to. Nobody else got on the lead lap, so that kept 7 cars on the lead lap. So I'm sure the other leaders that came in are happy about that as the green flag flies. Chisholm's going to have no problem getting around this one machine on the inside. But what's going to happen next as he shoots down to the inside of turn 3 and 4, going right back to the lead where he came from?
Yeah, right side by side there. Chisholm gets a good around 4 and instantly clears him. He's back right to the lead with a point. And Wooldridge in the 56 will follow suit.
Patrick in that 2 machine struggling a bit here to get around some of the slower traffic as now he's working on the 50 machine of Tully as he's able to do so. Gets around him. And now, looking below. Oof, got his nose taken off by 00, and the caution flies. 73 is around. And that is the 73's 3rd caution cause. So he will be forced to park. He came off turn 4 on his own, overcorrected, hit the wall, flipped, and did a little barrel roll into one. and kept it going. So unfortunately, though, third caution of the day for him. He will be asked to park the car.
Oh, it just kind of looks like he just loses it, move corrects, and what's such a weird way to flip over there on the back stretch.
Yeah, that kind of looked like it sucked.
Yeah.
That's one.
Give it an 8.5.
Yeah. That kind of sucked. Now the guy that hit the tire barrier and did like four in the air, that's a 10. Bring him back.
We're doing freestyle jumps after the race.
Now we're going to see if this will ruin the double file restarts for these guys. Hopefully it doesn't, because I don't think that was really caused by a restart as much as it was a guy that just couldn't handle his car coming off of turn 4 there. So the double file restarts will definitely keep this interesting for us up here in the booth as we come across. Take the next lap as Chisholm once again found his way back to the lead here on lap 224.
Yeah, we just noticed there on during the caution that Ryan Messer, one of the only leaders to take pit road there under this caution to get fresh tires and fuel. Not sure how that will turn out on a restart. Only 2 laps on tires, not even.
I feel like Messer kind of took one for the team there, Matt, made sure those other drivers couldn't get back on the lead lap. And to be honest with you, that's pretty smart, because now Messer's going to fall back to 8th, 7th.
Yeah, it was the 8th.
Yeah. If he would have allowed those drivers that were once one lap down all to get the wave around, that adds more to the lead lap. So, almost like he took one for the team without knowing that he did.
That's true. One thing I was going to mention before the caution came out was Caden Tuff staying in front of Redcliffe off that restart and staying in a third spot. Looks like he was a meal to contend for the second spot at least, and try to be contended for the lead as we come here to the green flag.
Green flag is back out. Chisholm has no problem getting that whole shot 3 wide. Look at that machine in the driver of the 2 machine there, Patrick. It's just on a roll. He gets up to P3. He's struggling to get around that 00 on that last restart. This time he's able to do so. Set his sights now on the 2 leaders. He's definitely one to watch as fast as he was earlier in this race, getting marred back in traffic on the same tires now as the guys in front of him. So we shall see what happens. But, man, it's getting rough again back there in the back of the pack, though.
Yeah, Parker had a good start there to get around the weight of Caden Tuff. Now looking to safe on the 56 as 56 tries to get to closer to his bumper of the 87 of Dane Chisholm. A single fault at the moment, but they're still in close contention.
For the Chase MacKay fans, that 71 machine has somehow made it back on the track. Laps down would be an understatement, as he is only on lap 104 and we're on lap like 220 something. So we're on lap 232. So, but he's still out here trying to turn some laps, trying to get some points. Hopefully, the worst part of his day is over and he can just have a smooth finish to this race.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call him a contender at this point.
I hope not.
If he is, that's something wrong happened here.
Some good racing though throughout the crowd. 3 wide further back. We got the 39.01 and the 80.
Backs up there, he's in a wall, flipping over in turn 3.
Yep. 80 is flipping, hardcore flipping, no caution yet.
One around. Caution is out.
Oh boy. Man, I was just talking about them being 3 wide coming off of 4 as they were. The 80 was just all out of line there. The 01, he gets just really loose off 4, hits the 01, gets punted again by the 34. That's I'm gonna have to say that's on him. Then further up, the 01 just never got it straightened back up either. He gets turned around. Just a rough lap there for both cars. Yeah,
I'm not sure what happened to the 80 car. He kind of checks up in the middle of 3 there, goes wide there, and then just loses it coming into 1.
Paul, we can look at that 01 as well, his vantage point, as he struggled throughout that. He did everything he could to hold that together, but just could not.
Was there contact there? It kind of looks like maybe a little bit of contact.
Oh, for sure. And it looks like he just can never catch it back. Good racing, though. Good racing. As we are coming down now to lap 230 something. I'll have to check.
63 laps to go. 62 laps to go now.
Oof. Been a long race, boys. It's definitely felt like the sinking Titanic. This has taken forever. However, it's been fun, and I swear I hear people playing violin somewhere.
Yeah, as long as this race has been, I definitely want to be part of this again sometime.
Well, that's not violin, so that is actually Paul passing gas. I apologize. I thought I heard a high pitch. All right, we are 1 to go now. 1 to go. All right, so we're double fire once again. Chisholm's going to be your leader now. How aggressive is Parker here in this 2 on this start? The car to beat is Chisholm. He's been the car to beat. They keep talking about his connection. They want to make sure his connection stays well. Let's see if he's able to do so. The green flag is out as they barrel it down to the 1 and 2. Can Parker clear for second? He can. Now all he has to do is set just his tone, set his pace. See if he has anything for Danny Chisholm, who has dominated the second half of this race.
Yeah, I think for Parker, he's going to be pretty aggressive here, coming for the 87 with 59 laps to go here. Seems like a lot of time, but it's really not on a short track like this.
Ooh.
So just he has to really nail getting close to the bumper and just maybe even move out of the way, and just take advantage of where you can.
The 1 machine has been put to the back because of connection issues. He is actually, Ryan Messer is now in the pits. That is a huge, huge slap for Ryan Messer, one of the lead lap cars. Really bad connection issues all of a sudden. He heads down pit road. He will go multiple laps down with this stop down into the pits. Tough break for that 1 machine. Not even seeing him back on the track. He may have called it a night. That's huge, actually. Ryan Messer, a race leader, is now off track.
Yeah, real unfortunate for Ryan Messer there.
He's actually still on pit road, man. He's blinking so much, I couldn't see him on pit road the lap prior.
Real unfortunate for Ryan Messer to have the night end that way with connection issues, but we see a battle here heat up between Danny Chisholm and Ryan Retzlaff. Parker Retzlaff.
Big wreck, turn 3. And there goes the 14 coming down the track. Oh, man, the common denominator, Terry Duguay, once again, giving everybody a heart attack.
This time being involved in a caution here, that seems like he's been involved in a caution a lot here.
And just looking back at it here, it looks like he actually gets roughed up by the 24 and then sent around quite a bit off the pace compared to the 24, but he also corrects the 71, go figure. 2 common denominators involved in one incident. Man, oh man, those 2 drivers, the 14 and the 71, their fault or not, they seem to be a name said very, very often throughout this race of being involved in the yellow.
Jeez. It's one thing to, just riding around the back, just trying to log laps, get it over with, but there's no point in trying to create a wreck, get a caution, just make things slower here. It's just, to me, there's no point. It's reckless, it's immature. Why cause that fuss when you're not going to gain anything from it?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm surprised the 71 even came out with so many laps down. The fact that he did, it's quite surprising. But hey, you know what? He has every right to this racetrack as everybody else does. So.
No, for sure. I think for him, he's a young kid. Why not learn the track a little more? Which I understand it's one thing, but don't go out there and ruin someone else's night when you're not going to gain anything from it. You're not in a position to gain any positions or be in there for the win. Your lap's down. Just run your line. Just learn the track. Do what you can. Just stay out of people's way who are in a position to win this race.
For sure, and I think Jake Goodwin was actually given. I'm trying to see who got the penalty. Actually, both of them got the EOL penalties there, so I'm not sure if they're giving either one of them a strike, but they're at least saying both of them are involved. So Jake Goodwin in the 24 going to the rear of the field. It's shaping up to be a good one here, Paul.
Lining them up 2 by 2 with the lights off on the pace car. Double file restart once again here with less than 50 laps to go. Chisholm down on the bottom side. Retzlaff up on the high side. Tufts, Wooldridge, Drake, the top 5. Tully on the lead lap, as is Fitzpatrick and Cassidy. Green flag flies, racing once again here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
And they both get a good jump on the start between Chisholm and Retzlaff. I think this will be the battle for the win here between Retzlaff and the 2-car and Chisholm in the 87. They're both kind of neck and neck here, coming to the line here with at 253 with 47 laps to go.
They cross him up off of the corner. He gets below him. He gives him a little bit of a kiss. Gives him another kiss in 3 and 4. Patrick back to the lead. It's where he's been trying to get for about 150 laps now, and he is back. They're still side by side. Danny Chisholm not wanting to let it go. He's leading at 3 and 4. They touch again here on exit of 4.
Yeah, I didn't see much touching there, but Chisholm's kind of pitching him right now. Oh, there's a touch right there, but sure, Retzlaff moves him up the hill. But they've been neck and neck. Chisholm pinched him down, and I don't think Chisholm likes that too much. He's going to try to maybe move him out of the way here.
They wanted to make sure you could see it.
Oh, I see a car around, maybe? Yeah, 50 ran around inside wall there. We stay green, though.
The 39 made his way down pit road as well after being off the pace, getting off the track, giving these leaders a place to race. I'll tell you what, there might be 8-9 cars on the lead lap, but this is a 2-car race. Danny Chisholm and Patrick here in this number 2 machine. They got a bone to pick with each other here, and Patrick's been super aggressive since he got marred back in the pack, and here he comes here, taking the lead, and not exactly showing like Danny has anything for him right now. He's actually pulling Danny. But is this Chisholm saving his tires, or are you giving it all you got right here?
Yeah, I'm not too sure on that one. I mean, he might be saving his tires a little bit. I would still be keeping my eye on the 56 of Tanton Wooldridge there for a second too as well. Like if Chisholm goes up there and something will happen, caution's up right now. So I'm not sure what the caution note is for. Can we get a replay on that, Paul?
Yeah, it looks like we had another big wreck. The 78 hooks the 83, and that was a pretty big wreck there. A few cars involved, but they blocked the track, unfortunately, and the 34 machine gets caught up. But the 78 and the 83 get the brunt of it. Just, oh, man, looks like the 08 gets involved, the 34 gets involved, and it looks like one car squeaks by. No, that's the 01. The 01 threads the needle, Paul.
Take a look at the U-House Racing Design instant replay and take a peek here. Less than 50 laps to go. These drivers know they got to get up towards the front. They got to get there. Well, they got to get there. So you got to stop doing stuff like this. But there you see, there's the contact. Big outside hit with the 83. Hitting the roof of the car on the outside wall. Not always the best spot to hit that car or the wall. But tough break for the 83 of Roma. See where he stacks up here once we get everybody lined up 2 by 2.
I can't tell if the 83 came up or if that car made contact just came down onto him. I don't know. It was kind of a mixed match of things.
I think
in my mind, anyway.
Khrushchev came across the radio and said, "We got you a hooker," and so he's like, "A hooker," and so he hooked her, and that's all it took. He heard a hooker, so he hooked her. Simple as that.
That's one theory for sure. That's definitely a theory.
It's going to be interesting now to see if Ratcliffe with the 87 chisel here, if Danny will repay the favor to the number 2 machine here. We saw them race super hard there on that restart. You see Chisholm going through the grass. For those who don't know, give them away a little bit of iRacing secret. The grass sometimes can cool down your tires, or at least it could back in the day. I don't know if it still does, but maybe Danny was trying to go down the grass, try to get his tires cooled down a little bit there. But here we go. The lights are off one more time. These two are about to put on a show again. I think this is a 2-car race until these two take each other out.
Yeah, unless we see the 56 or the 08 take advantage of a collision here. It's going to come down to Retzlaff or Chisholm taking advantage on his restart with 36 to go.
Good start by Patrick in that 2. Chisholm did not get the start he wanted. He might relinquish the second position before we even get out of turn 2. Still side by side.
Yeah, it looks like Chisholm kind of spun tires. He got loose there on entry or exit, sorry, and just lost it. And now he's going to lose the third spot here to Kane Tufts.
He's stuck on the outside with really nowhere to go. That's, again, downside to some of these short tracks. He makes contact here with the 00 of Tufts. Caution's out again. The track is blocked on the front stretch, unfortunately, with the 35 looking the incorrect direction, trying to get it spun back around. It looks like it actually happened in front of the 35. Looks like it was just calamity with the with 83 machine again. The 83 caught up with the one. 41 gets into him. He goes around, and that just big wreck. The 35 there just gets wow. I'm not sure why these lap cars are running so hard against lead lap cars right now, to be honest with you. But the 80, the 35, the 63, or 83, all involved.
Yeah, I couldn't tell how the 83 got involved there because the 41 didn't really hit him on my screen anyways, but
Hey, Matt, and how do you say big wreck in Canadian?
Well, I mean, Big Wreck's a Canadian band, but really it's just a couple of words there I wouldn't say on public television. All
right, here for race control. A little bit of net code there caused that, but it sounds like it would have happened anyways. So it looks like that the 41 is done for evening. It looks like the 41 is being the one called at fault. So that is we're up to 2 drivers being disqualified for bringing out too many yellows. A tough break there for the 41. Jason Gossi has to pull her on off. And I'm sure we're getting close to that incident cap as well for some of these drivers here, Paul.
Yeah, 45 points on the incident cap, and for anybody new to iRacing, anytime you touch another car, hit the grass, hit the wall, you get one of those incident points. So
even if it's consensual. I got him.
That's 2.
is there any sport that's
We like to have fun here at Vidane TV. We like to have fun here. Here's my headshot.
They're having a hard time getting that thing in reverse down there at the end of pit road. There he goes. Waiting for the field to go by there, and the 14 car looks like he's going to rejoin the tail end of the field. The lights are off. We're lined up 2 by 2. Less than 30 laps to go on the TCM 300. A lot of fast cars out of this one early on. A couple of fast cars still up front, though. Good restart for the 2.
Very good restart. That's what he needed. Chisholm stuck in traffic here, but now let's see what happened with Wooldridge. Wooldridge in that 56 machine. He's been kind of quiet here. He's been staying in the top 5, staying out of trouble, keeping that car clean. Let's see if he has anything here for the 2 car.
Yeah, quiet lady for Wooldridge. Looks like he's got a good charge for Redsclav. If he came to us, Chisholm and Richard Drake brought in that top 5 there. Single file right now. Kind of interesting to see how that will play out if they'll get a little aggressive here in closing laps.
Jesus Christ, we've made it a 25 to go as they come across the line, and we take it 2-5 to go here in the TCM 300. As the top 3, you can throw up Lincoln on them. I'm not sure if they would like that, but hey, we like the party. As they head down into 3 and 4, just nose to tail, and we haven't seen this kind of a threat come out of Wooldridge all races. A couple bumps in the back bumper of that number 2 machine coming down into 3 and 4 here.
Yeah, it's almost like Wooldridge just kind of like dives in there close enough, and then Redsclav just has a better exit off the corners, separating him like by at least a car length there. It's getting close there and diving in the corner. He gets a good run off that one.
Yeah, a little bit of you can see he's overdriving the heck out of it now. The last 2 corners, he needs to take a deep breath real quick and just get back into his groove. What he was doing was right, and it seems like he's just overdriving just a little bit. Last couple corners here, it seems like he's getting back on track. And it's easy to do that, Matt, when you're trying to track somebody down. You're so even to them. You're trying to find that 10th or that 100th of a second somewhere to better them. And it's a lot easier to make a mistake than it is to make improvements.
Yeah, totally understandable. Especially with 20 laps to go, you're trying to just find that advantage, trying to find where you're better than them. But with that many left, with that few laps left to go on a short track, you can't make any mistakes. You can't mess up on a line. You have to be perfect every time.
Yeah, and if I'm Wooldridge here as well, I sit in second to that last lap. That turn 3 and 4 wall is pretty smooth. I feel like if he hits the gas and just rides that wall, he'll get around Patrick easily.
Oh, absolutely. But now we got running into lap traffic here now. It's getting a little harder. You got to get out the gas on the corner a little sooner. Just make sure you can round those corners a little smoother, right?
For sure. I think he just hit the wall and ride the wall. I think he just has to Ross Chastain it. I don't see him. I don't see him getting around him any other way.
I wasn't going to mention Ross Chastain because I don't even think he can do that here because it's not as well, I guess, rounded on the edges, I guess. But he's getting close every time.
He is. I would like to see him have to force the admin to make a call. Because if you can't
I'd say keep doing what he's doing within, I guess, maybe coming to 5 to go probably, and just try to see if you can put the bumper to him a little bit. But don't let Kane Tufts get as close as he is right now.
Yeah, all three of them. I mean, if any three of these drivers make a mistake, it could cost them the race. As we see Tufts have a little bit of a wiggle there, not enough. There's the
there we go.
Oh boy!
I didn't think it'd be that soon, but here we go. He's getting closer.
He is, man. Oh man. It's either give him the bumper or ride that wall. Just sitting here in his tire tracks is not going to get it done. So I think it's gut check time here, man. I think it's time to start planning.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you got to plan a little bit and just make sure that you're kind of trying to find an advantage and trying to dive a little bit lower than the rest class is and just see if you can get that bumper underneath him.
Not only that
corner.
If a caution comes out late, I want to be the leader on that restart. So that may play into a little bit of the strategy as well. You might want to make that move a little bit quicker than on the last lap or 2 to go, just in case the caution flag flies. As we took 10 to go, coming around 9 to go this time by.
No, and I agree with you there. You don't want to be in second place or third place there. You want to be in the lead. So that way, if you get that last caution, you want to be able to get that jump on your competitors. But at the same time, if I'm Tanton Wooldridge, I want to try to be right underneath him, trying to be right on his back bumper every single corner, every single lap until the very end. Just try to get him nudged enough out of the way to complete that pass.
I think he's trying to right now. He's just realizing as he just
got a little loose on exit.
Yeah, give him a little bit of bump there, but nothing that he's doing right now is working.
No.
We're coming to 6 to go. You have to be more aggressive. Just riding here, you're not faster than him. You're not going to get around him just by doing what you're doing. You A, give him a bumper, or B, ride that wall. I mean, that's the two. To me, that's the two options that the 56 has right now.
Yeah, I just feel like if he's going to try to get out of the way, it's still a little too soon because if he messes up at this moment, Kane Tufts can definitely take advantage of it.
Oh, another bump there.
There's the bump there. Another bump. But he's on the other side now. He's got the gap.
Defense now. He isn't playing defense. He's slowing down so much that he's still going to hold the bottom. You can bump him all day long, but he's not going to let you have that bottom. Coming here with 4 to go, that's all he has to do. But you can't pass him on the outside. So it's going to come down to you're going to be a gentleman and be cool with second, or you're going to have to do what you got to do for the lead. 4 to go.
No, it's going to come this lap or next lap. All honesty, it's going to come this lap or next lap if he's going to do it. Because if he doesn't do it, then Kane's going to take advantage of it, like he's right now on the outside. Or, if he does do it and he doesn't do it perfectly, Kane's going to take advantage and get underneath him.
Popsicle sticks are out here, ladies and gentlemen. We are 1.5 laps away from the end. Can Wooldridge make his way around the two?
There's a bump.
White flag is out. Does he have anything for him? A little bit of lap track in between them. Big bump there. Kind of pushes them in front of him. Does he have a Hail Mary pass? They fly down into 1 and 2.
There's a bump by Keenan. Nope.
Oh, nothing he can do. Nothing he can do. Goes around the zero. Goes around hard. Big wreck.
Zero right around as well on the exit.
Man.
But we see Parker Rescoff take the checker flag in the 2 car.
Parker
Ford
did what he had
victory.
to do. Wooldridge just could not figure out a way to get around him. I really would have liked to see him get a little bit more aggressive there, try something, unorthodox. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, I
One
guess
heck for 300 laps.
can definitely see, it was a great effort by Wooldridge, trying to defend off Caden Tuss, but also trying to try to get underneath Resclav. But again, just couldn't get it done. Hats off to Resclav running a near perfect race. Obviously had that little setback with the tire strategy, but came back to win it.
All right, Paul. Again, great job here tonight. I hope you had fun out there in the booth hitting buttons.
Yeah, pushing all the buttons, making all the magic happen. Going to try and talk to these top 3 drivers here momentarily as we get caught up with them. We'll talk to Tim here in just a moment as well. And it's already looking like, Matt, I believe you're down there on pit road with that third place finisher, Caden Tuss, with the 88 00.
Okay, hi, me. Hi, Caden. So you were coming up with second place here, Tanton Wooldridge. What were going through your mind there, coming in closing laps on the 56 car? Trying to get close to him.
Through the last 50 laps there, so I was just kind of hoping that either something happens in front of me or just I end up getting a good run off the corner and getting under them there. But we weren't able to do that, so I was just kind of along for the ride and trying to keep the nose clean there. I wasn't trying to get in a 10 or anything there, but near the end there, we almost got, we did get turned, but we still managed to pull off the third there. So, I mean, I'll take it. I think it's a pretty good prize payout there, so we'll take it.
All right, thank you, Caden. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll give the 00 car the Caden just a quick opportunity to thank anybody that makes it happen for you on and off the real racetrack and the sim racetrack.
On the sim, I mean, I run for Premier Racing Setups. They have you guys covered for all your setup needs that you need. Use code TUFS15 and check out there. Then I got Timberley Beverage Room, LBT Pallets, Scasbro Transfer, Broadwater Mortgages, and I mean, you guys are putting this on. 10, he's done a lot for me on the sim here, and Parker, I ran a couple races here with him in the past couple hours, I guess you can say. And we had some pretty good races, so huge thanks to him and 10 and everyone else throughout the field here.
Awesome job here tonight, finishing in top 3 and just right up the road here on pit road. Going to be that second place finisher, the 56 of Tanton Wooldridge. You gave him everything you could. You gave him the bumper once, twice, maybe a couple of times there towards the end of it. Talk to us. What was going through your mind in the last couple of laps?
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. Final couple laps. I wasn't really trying to give him the bumper. I was just trying to maintain the gap and stay right there and try and capitalize if he made any mistakes, which he didn't. Yeah, I honestly, I wasn't trying to hit him. That's not the way I want to race. Honestly, if I could go back and change the final 30 laps, I probably would have tried to be a little bit less aggressive. But I mean, not every day you get to run with a real life NASCAR Xfinity Series driver. So we were definitely a little excited in the seat to be racing against him and know that we not just only had pace to stay there, but if we could have gotten by, possibly drive away.
And a lot of different challenges to throw into the mix there at the end as well. Lap traffic and a lot of competition in front, a lot of competition in back, and came home with a solid P2 finish. So a great run, all being said and done here. And like you said, just a kind of a cool experience. And I want to give you the opportunity to kind of hand over the microphone and thank anybody who makes it happen to you. Find out who gets you to and from the racetrack.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, there's a ton of thank yous to go around, and I think tonight, honestly, Caden Tuss is probably one of the biggest ones. Kind of at the start of the race, he was making sure that I had a line to get in and everything, and then I was trying to help him out on tire strategy, fuel strategy, and stuff like that. And honestly, I probably could have helped him out more on the restarts, definitely at the end. But I honestly acted a little bit selfish and just kind of took it for myself. So I mean, probably could have given him a little bit more. So Caden Tuss is obviously a big part of getting us second tonight, and I'm really happy to see him get third. And honestly, just I mean, all my real life partners too. I mean, I got 28 Racing Team, which has been giving me an opportunity to start running a Pro Late model in real life a little bit, which is really really cool. I got to thank McKinnon Brothers Service Center, Livingston Steel, Livingston Enterprises, Cornwall Self Storage Units. There's a bunch of real life sponsors on board our Legend car and on board the number 28 Pro Stock. So really big thanks to those guys.
And putting on one heck of a show here tonight, coming home with a solid second place finish. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks to you guys too, and for Tim for putting on this deal. There's it probably takes a lot to try and organize an event like this with such a big person stuff, and he does it with probably not too many thank yous and probably not too much reward in the end. So big thanks to you guys, and thanks to Tim.
Always a pleasure putting on a show here. And speaking of putting on a show and speaking of partying, Wes, you're down there in Victory Lane. It's too loud for me to even finish the introduction.
Parker, congratulations on the win tonight. What a battle it was for you, climbing up the ladder, down the ladder, and then working your way back up. Walk us through this journey and bringing home this win after 300 laps.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an up and down race. I actually, with like 70 to go or something, I thought that I lost the race just because of the track position I had and Danny and them being in the lead. I actually thought that I lost the race, and then I just luckily got enough drive off of 2 that one lap and was able to get to his inside, and then I was just hoping for it to go green, and I don't know what I really did, but I knew that I think I definitely was not as good as I should have been at the end of the race, and I'm not really sure what I did wrong, but I know that I need to work on it before the next race to come back better.
Parker, after you made that first pit stop and you were kind of off sequence from the rest of the leaders, from Danny Chisholm and others, and then something to do with when that pit stop happened, you were forced to start behind the lap cars. We could hear your frustration trying to get back up through there. Walk us through that experience and trying to basically just keep your calm and keep focused.
Yeah, it was actually I was planning on just trying to stay out until lap 150 and then pitting and just being able to make it to the end on gas from there. But then they all started pitting a lot sooner, so I knew that if it went green, I was going to end up losing a lot right there because I was slow. I was going to be on old tires compared to the rest of the field. So that's when I pitted around lap 115. So I just kind of, by them pitting, got myself off my planned strategy for the end of the race, which I'm still not really sure which strategy would have worked better, but it was a really fun race. It was just a lot of chaos in the middle of it.
So last 10 laps, especially after that last restart, Tanton, I think he gave you the best run for your money than he did throughout the entire race. He was pretty quiet throughout the race, but really started putting the heat on you. What was going through your mind as you felt bump after bump after bump on exit, especially that one off of 2? It seemed like you were in real big defensive mode, just trying to keep that car on the bottom. Was that your strategy there? Was just to keep the car at the bottom at all costs?
Yeah, I mean, I just knew I had to try and, go as fast as I could and stay on the bottom. He was a little bit better than me at the end, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know what I did wrong. I feel like I just faded throughout the whole race and got, I don't know what I did. I don't know if I just messed something up or I used up my tires way too much or what. But yeah, I mean, he was, I think, a lot better than me there at the end. It's just really hard to pass here.
Parker, we understand that it takes a lot to get big wins like this on iRacing. It takes a lot to make it happen on iRacing, as it does in real life. Any hellos or thank yous you would like to give? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I just have to thank Funkaway and Ponzi, Iron Horse Loggers, and my parents for everything they do, and everyone who put this event down. This was a lot of fun, and I think this is the first or second one I've ever done of these, and it was really fun. I would definitely want to come back. And I just have to thank everyone at RKM Setup Shop and everyone who supports me.
Parker, you put on one hell of a show tonight. You gave us something to talk about from lap 1 to 300. Once again, from all of us here at Vidane, congratulations on your win tonight at the TCM 300.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You as well. Paul?
Yeah, and catching up with Tim, man, it was interesting there at the end, but one heck of a finish.
Yeah, it was a little bit chaotic at the very start of the race. Lots of cautions, more cautions than what we're really used to in these races. But I think that goes into starting 31 cars as well. We had that issue a couple of races ago, too, where we started more than we probably should have. And a lot of those cautions were middle of the pack on back. Once we got down to 22, 24-ish, we started to see some green flag runs. So congratulations to Parker. Want to send out a special thank you to Shady Brook Enterprises for putting up a bunch of contingency awards tonight as well. John Fitzpatrick is the Hard Charger Award tonight. The Lucky Dog Award or the Free Pass Award went to Richard Drake. The poll challenge that Dylan Black put up went obviously to Vicente Salas. Didn't go as well as Shente wanted to, but still going to pick up a $25 reward for that. Heat race winners got some money from Wingnut Productions, and we still have to figure out the Headache Award. I think we've got it figured out, though, but we'll announce that later on. So thank you for everybody coming out, having a good time, hopefully, enjoying the race, and we'll do it all again later. The next one for us is Smashed Potatoes. I think we may throw something next week, but we also may need a break after the thousands of cautions we had in the first 150 laps of this deal. Smashed Potatoes coming up December 22nd. I am going to curse on my own deal, so kids, plug your ears. If anybody was out there on the racetrack tonight and didn't get enough smash shit, come on out and get it on December 22nd. Bring a friend and tell them you need to put them in the wall at South Boston in the street stocks. That's our next race. Got a couple of TCM lives in between there, and then we'll close off the year and then get ready for January with Jim Hallahan 333 somewhere in January. I still got to talk to Tyler because I think we've got to move the date a little bit too. But yeah, that was fun. Thank you to Shady Brook Enterprises, Dylan Black, Ashton Reiki, Wingnut Productions. You guys for putting on the show. I know you guys do a phenomenal job. Good to hear Wes back on the show. Always love hearing Rowdy and Matt and you, Paul, and Paige for helping out in the back. And then my pocketbook for the rest of it to pay the person on Monday and Tuesday that we didn't get paid through everything else. So thank you guys. We'll see you on the 22nd.
And when we do, we'll be doing it live. Have a great night. Thanks for tuning in to Vidane TV.
I just want to thank